is Nationwide 90 FM, owned and operated by Nationwide News Network. We broadcast from our studios at 6 Bradley Avenue, Kingston 10, Jamaica. Transmitting on the FM 90 band. 90.3 from Peters Rock in St. Andrew and Murphy Hill in St. Anne. Serving Kingston and St. Andrew, St. Catherine, St. Anne, parts of Clarendon, St. Mary, and St. Thomas. 90.5 from Huntley in Manchester, transmitting to St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland, Manchester, Clarendon, rural St. Andrew, and parts of St. Thomas. And 90.7 from Cooper's Hill in St. Andrew and Flower Hill in St. James, serving Westmoreland, Hanover, St. James, sections of Trelawney, Kingston, St. Catherine, Clarendon, St. Mary, Portland, and St. Anne. Nationwide 90 FM also broadcasts on the World Wide Web on nationwideradiojm.com and on Flow on channel 916. Nationwide 90 FM, a revolution in media. You're listening to Nationwide 90 FM. The time is
6 o'clock.
From the studios of Nationwide Radio, morning radio the right way. It's Nationwide This Morning.
A very good morning to you. I'm Tona Thomas. Coming up in the news at 6 for this morning, Thursday, March 14, 2024. Privy Council to deliver ruling on the appeal of incarcerated dancehall entertainer Vybz Cartel at 11 this morning. Principal of Taki High School, Errol Basco, is to return to the St. Mary Parish Court today on buggery charges. Incoming Police Commissioner Dr. Kevin Blake hailed as exceptionally qualified for the role. ACP Clifford Chambers says the police intended to work closely with stakeholders in Westmoreland to ensure peace is restored to the parish. In regional news, a prominent attorney found dead in his home in the British Virgin Islands. In international news, Denmark to start compulsory enlistment of women for military service. In sports, the Jamaica Scorpions will resume on 20 without loss on day 2 of their regional 4-day game against the West Indies Academy. And in business this morning, gas prices are going down. The details after the break.
Live exquisite this year with new arrival black and chrome fixtures for your home at Unique Living. Select from a wide variety of rain shower systems, fabulous faucets, and stylish sinks to suit your kitchen and bathrooms. Get uncompromised quality and style unique to you. Shop everything new at Unique Living, Jamaica's leading shower and faucets provider. Visit shop number 630 Dunrobin Avenue, Kingston 10, or call 876-755-3661 to 2.
Catch the first news of the day, a comprehensive package of local, international, sports, and business news. The news at 6 on Nationwide 90 FM.
Now to the details. The UK-based Privy Council will rule this morning on the appeal of incarcerated dancehall star Vybz Cartel and his co-convicts. The ruling is expected to be handed down at 11 Jamaica time. Cartel, whose given name is Adidja Palmer, and his co-convicts Sean Storm Campbell, Kahira Jones, and Andre St. John, appealed their 2014 murder conviction. All 4 men were imprisoned for the 2011 killing of Clive Lizard Williams. They've all maintained their innocence. The appeal hearing in the matter was held in London over 2 days last month from February 14 to 15. Speaking on Nationwide this morning earlier this month, Sean Storm's attorney Bert Samuels says the defense will strongly oppose the case being sent back to the local court of appeal to consider a retrial.
The men have already spent 15 years, 14 years in custody. Secondly, they have to pay attorneys again for trial. Thirdly, the witnesses are not necessarily available. They can't be found. Fourthly, the pre-trial prejudice of those voice notes and the people have been told what the case is about. It's going to be difficult to find a juror or a jury rather which has not been influenced by what they have heard in the media. And it's just in the interest of justice that this should be over. They have served, some of them, a third of their sentences already.
Bert Samuels, defense attorney. The Privy Council will be live streaming the decision on its website. Principal of Tacky High School, Errol Basco, is to return to the St. Mary Parish Court today on buggery charges. Mr. Basco was granted bail in the sum of $600,000 when he appeared in court on Tuesday. He was charged on Sunday following allegations of sexual misconduct by an unemployed 23-year-old man in Gale, St. Mary. He resigned from his role as the PNP's caretaker for Western St. Mary following the allegations. One of the lawyers representing Mr. Basco is Oswest Senior Smith.
The learned parish judge had some prudent questions for the clerk of the court, and those questions having yielded some responses, I was given an opportunity to offer a rejoinder, which I did, and the learned parish judge did a balancing exercise, having heard of the antecedents of Mr. Basco, and offered him bail in the sum of $600,000 with sureties between 1 and 3, and with conditions for reporting to the police as well as surrender of travel documents. Basically, that was that, and it's set for the 14th of May.
Oswest Senior Smith, attorney at law. The opposition People's National Party PNP has congratulated incoming Commissioner of Police Dr. Kevin Blake. Dr. Blake's appointment takes effect next Tuesday, March 19. In a statement on Wednesday, opposition spokesman on citizen security, Senator Peter Bunting, says the PNP will not second-guess the selection, but he says the opposition will be carefully observing Dr. Blake's performance in the months to come. Senator Bunting adds that the JCF under Dr. Blake's leadership must act impartially and professionally.
We therefore caution the new commissioner not to involve the JCF in public advocacy for matters that the Constitution reserves for Parliament and on which there is no political consensus. As we approach an election season, we also remind the Commissioner that it becomes especially important that the JCF behave and be seen as an impartial and professional force whose operations support the democratic process rather than one party or another's partisan interests.
Senator Peter Bunting, opposition spokesman on citizen security. And former Deputy Commissioner of Police Mark Shields has hailed the incoming Commissioner of Police, Dr. Kevin Blake. Mr. Shields says Dr. Blake is exceptionally qualified for the role.
I think he brings the right balance of operational and strategic planning, intelligence and technology experience that will give him all of the skills that he will require to be, an excellent Commissioner of Police.
Mr. Shields says the support of the rank-and-file members of the force will also be key to Dr. Blake's success as Commissioner.
He will have to, of course, demonstrate some great leadership because the murder rate remains high. Crime and disorder in general on the street remains quite high, but I believe that with his background and his skills and being a homegrown Jamaican Subsidy Force Commissioner of Police, he'll get a lot of support from his colleagues. I think that the men and women on the ground respect him. They've seen the work that he's done already within the organisation. Since coming in as an assistant superintendent, he's risen through the ranks. He's done extremely well, and because he has such a rounded skill base, that's why I think he's going to do well.
Mark Shields, a former Deputy Commissioner of Police. Commanding Officer for the Area 1 Police, Assistant Commissioner of Police, ACP Clifford Chambers, says that the police intend to work closely with all stakeholders in Westmoreland to ensure that peace is restored to the parish. A curfew has been in effect in Grange Hill since Monday amid an ongoing gang war between the King Valley and the Ants Posse gangs. At least 3 schools in the community were forced to close their doors on Tuesday as the flare-up in violence continued. The institutions are set to reopen for classes today. ACP Chambers says the police plan to collaborate with local schools, community leaders, and residents. He says the security forces have been moving around affected communities.
Consequent on the flare-up of crime, violence, gang criminal activities in the Grange Hill space, the police, with support from the military, has initiated several initiatives to contain and cauterize the issues, whilst we target and focus on some communities and some persons of interest. we do have a curfew that is still in force. And at the same time, the security forces are conducting several road policing initiatives with support from specialized operation and the area team and the military, of course.
ACP Clifford Chambers, commanding officer for the Area 1 Police. The police are calling on those with information that can assist with their investigations to call a police emergency at 119, Crime Stop at 311, the NIB tip line at 811, or the nearest police station. The Child Protection and Family Services Agency, CPFSA, says it's deeply troubled by the killing of a St. Catherine family of 4 whose home was firebombed early Tuesday morning. The police say the house was set ablaze sometime after 1 a.m. by unknown assailants. The blaze left a mother, her 2 daughters, and her 4-year-old grandson dead. One of the daughters was 13 years old. Residents in the area reportedly heard screams coming from the house. CEO of the CPFSA, Lord Adams Thomas, says that the agency is saddened by the senseless killing of the family.
The CPFSA is deeply troubled by this heinous act of violence that took the lives of 4 members of the same family, 2 innocent children and 2 women in Central Village. We mourn with the surviving family members, and we are currently conducting an investigation to determine the kind of psychosocial and psychological interventions that we can offer to them. Our Children and Family Support Unit stands ready to assist in providing the necessary support, and they will also be referred to the Ministry of Justice's Victim Services Division for counseling.
Central Village is now under a 48-hour curfew. The curfew, which began at 6 p.m. on Tuesday, is to come to an end at 6 p.m. today. Mrs. Adams Thomas is appealing for an end to violence against vulnerable children and women.
The CPFSA and the Ministry of Education and Youth is calling for an end to all forms of violence against our children and our women. Neither should they become unnecessary casualties of intra-community disputes. Our children are our future, and it is heartrending to see how their innocent lives are being cut short, especially in such a senseless way.
Lord Adams Thomas, CEO of the Child Protection and Family Services Agency. WhatsApp exchanges or WhatsApp messages exchanged between murdered businesswoman Simone Campbell Colmore and her husband Omar Colmore revealed a marriage in turmoil. The messages were revealed in court on Wednesday. They chronicled just how tumultuous the marriage was months before Mrs. Colmore was killed. In October 2017, Simone sent WhatsApp messages to Colmore expressing that she was willing to look past his infidelity and work on their marriage. At that time, the couple, they were living apart. Colmore is on trial in the Supreme Court for her murder. It's alleged he contracted men to carry out the hit. Simone was shot and killed along with her taxi driver Winston Walters on January 2, 2018 on Stanley Terrace in Red Hills, St. Andrew. Robin Williams was in court.
A former forensic examiner testified about how he physically extracted the messages from Colmore's phones in 2019. A total of 4 phones were seized belonging to Colmore, but only 2 were examined due to technical difficulties. The witness said he carried out the extraction on 2 Samsung phones. He said he extracted WhatsApp conversations, voice notes, and pictures from the phones. The prosecutor instructed him to search for WhatsApp conversations between October 2 and October 4, 2017. On October 3 at 1 p.m., Colmore messaged Simone.
So hear what? I want to get this done.
He sent another message after, saying,
Look, I'm truly sorry about whatever we're going through. I did this.
Simone replied, Omar, I want you. I want my marriage and I want my family. The kids are hurting and I am hurting. You're hurting. And I don't know what else to tell you. Simone sent, I don't want to live like this anymore, where you're indirectly blaming me for everything. I just want to know if this is really the life we're going to put our kids through. Omar replied,
Until we really get back on track, this is what needs to be done, Simone.
In response, Simone sent, This is what needs to be done? Listen to you. It's like you never cheated. It's like you never had a woman intentionally hurting me. It's like I'm begging you. Colmore responded,
Nah, Sim, you're not. Let's not go tit for tat, please, because before women, you and I had it way worse. I was getting treated like up there. All the issue, you see, was all you and I. No women. I was feeling down and unhappy of everything. And you didn't understand the damage I've been through, Simone. Have you ever think why I would come home late and be drunk just to fall asleep?
To this Simone sent, Omar, I didn't see it before, but I'm here looking past everything to work on it. I've told you I want my marriage. My family, I want my children to have their parents under one roof. But if you do not want it, I am going to accept it and move on and give you a full separation. I'm not thinking of anything in the past. I want my man. But you have to want me just as much. The things you did to me teach me a lesson. And that lesson is I deserve better. I'm not going to continue to run you down. I know I'm a good woman and a good wife. And if you can't see it, it's your loss. I'm done crawling on my knees. Do what you want. Colmore is jointly charged with 3 others. Michael Adams, Dwayne Pink, and Shaquille Edwards. A 5th man, Wade Blackwood, who was one of the shooters, pleaded guilty and was sentenced to life in prison. Blackwood is now a Crown witness. The trial will continue on Thursday morning at 10. Robianne Williams for Nationwide News.
And that's it for the local segment of the news. Up next, regional and international.
Go crazy for this offer from Flow. Get a free Samsung phone and earbuds when you sign up for Flow Yard and Road for the special price of $4,999 plus GCT. Free is all the craze. This crazy offer won't last long. Visit discoverflow.co or your nearest Flow store for more info. Conditions apply.
In regional and international news this morning, regional news, a prominent attorney in the British Virgin Islands, Jamal Smith, has been found murdered in his home. Mr. Smith was found dead with gunshot wounds at his residence on Tortola. This is the territory's first homicide for 2024. The Royal Virgin Islands Police Force said on Monday it received a report via the 911 call center at 7:30 p.m. about a shooting at Manuel Reef. Officers of the force and ambulance services immediately responded to the scene. Upon arrival, thorough searches were conducted in the area, but nothing suspicious was initially found. Further investigations by officers led them to a residence in the Manuel Hill area. After a thorough search of the premises, officers discovered the lifeless body of Smith of Manuel Hill, an attorney at law with apparent gunshot wounds. He was pronounced dead at the scene. The police service said it is actively investigating the circumstances surrounding the incident. International news now. Denmark has announced plans to extend military conscription to women for the first time and increase the standard service time. It also wants to boost its defense budget by nearly $6 billion in the next 5 years to meet NATO targets. Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen said says they do not rearm because they want war. She says they are rearming because they want to avoid it. Tensions in Europe have spiked since Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine in February 2022. Unveiling the reforms on Wednesday, Ms. Fredrickson said the government was seeking to achieve full equality between the sexes. Meanwhile, the defense minister said more robust conscription, including full gender equality, must contribute to solving defense challenges, national mobilization, and manning their armed forces. Women in the Scandinavian country can already volunteer for military service. And that's it for regional and international. Up next, sports.
Azen Super Center in Midtown Crossroads, a place you've come to know and trust for quality and the best prices. Now, come see our expanded range of products, fine furnishings, kitchenware, your smart TVs, and all things electronics, and the latest in curtains, bed linen, and bathroom accessories. It's the new and expanded Azen Super Center in Midtown Crossroads with convenient, safe, and free parking. Shop with a smile at Azen Super Center.
Need equipment rental, repair, or sales? The Contractor Center has you covered. We also offer epoxy installation, stamp concrete, and construction chemicals, serving commercial, industrial, construction, and residential industries. Don't let everyday challenges hold you back. Visit us at 26 Shortwood Road or online at contractorcenterja.com or call 876-968-4816.
We're welcoming every woman with a special International Women's Day offer at Sagicor Bank. Women who apply for a Sagicor Bank credit card get 5,000 bonus points with a qualifying purchase within 30 days. That's not all. Apply for a car loan or mortgage, and Sagicor Bank will welcome you with a reduction in your commitment fee. At Sagicor Bank, we want every woman to feel welcome. Conditions apply.
In your morning sports report, the Jamaica Scorpions will resume on 20 without loss on day 2 of their 4th round regional 4-day game against the West Indies Academy at Sabina Park. The Scorpions are replying to 324 all-out of Joshua Dorn, made 83 on debut, Jamaica's Jordan Johnson 61, and Kadeem Allen 59. Derville Green ended with 3 for 48 and Ajay Shield 3 for 38, while Ambija Mansing claimed 2 for 69. At the Queen's Park Oval, host Trinidad and Tobago Red Force will continue from 89 for 1 after bowling out the Windward Islands Volcanoes for 191. Kevon Otley made 47. Alec Athenaeus 56 and Sunil Ambrose 36 led the Volcanoes, batting against Anderson Phillip 5 for 37, Kerry Pear 3 for 31, and Jaden Seals 2 for 48. At Coolidge, Guyana, Harpy Eagles will look to pile on the runs they resume on 231 for 5 against the Barbados Pride. Kevin Anderson slammed 87, Tevin Imlak 55, and Tishnar and Chanderpole 40 are so far the leading scorers. While at the Sir Frank Worrell Memorial Ground, the Leeward Islands Hurricanes will resume on 20 for 1, replying to 273 all-out by the combined campuses and colleges team. Former coach of Jamaica's senior women's football team, Charlie Edwards, has welcomed the announcement from CONCACAF for the establishment of the Women's Club Champions Cup. The tournament will be an annual affair to include the best clubs from North and Central America and the Caribbean, and will crown a regional women's club champion.
I think it's a brilliant initiative on behalf of CONCACAF to, follow suit where the men's competition is concerned. Now we have the women's championship being launched in CONCACAF region. I think it's very brilliant, and it will help to grow the football in the region.
The tournament will also be the sole path through which CONCACAF clubs can qualify for the new FIFA Women's Club World Cup, which FIFA has committed to launching in the near future. The inaugural CONCACAF Women Champions Cup will be the 2024-25 edition, with the preliminary round and group stage matches scheduled for August, September and October, and a final four centralized semi-finals, a third-place match and final in May 2025. Edwards believes that this will encourage the Jamaica Football Federation to do more to improve the quality of women's football locally.
I think it's going to force the hands of the Jamaican authorities now to step up their competition and their development of the women's program, because I cannot, under any circumstances, see Jamaican teams competing with the North American teams, the Canadas, the USA, and some of the other regions within the CONCACAF region. So it's going to be very interesting to see how the JFF handles this going forward, because it's going to force their hands. We cannot, under any circumstances, continue to run the women's program the way we are running it and expect the teams to be able to compete. And you can't even blame the standard of the girls.
Charlie Edwards. Finally, in your morning sports, world double sprint champion and superstar Noah Lyles says though he represents the United States in major competitions, he does so with a heavy heart. Lyles, who won 3 gold medals at last year's World Championships in Budapest, says being black in America, there's a lot to deal with, and it's hard to love a country that doesn't love you. The 26-year-old Lyles, who will be shooting for 4 gold medals at this summer's Paris Olympic Games, did not go into details during an interview on Fox News, but says he considered retiring from track and field because of his experiences in the sport. Lyles says at times he feels conflicted because when he goes on the track, he gives his all and every time for the United States. Last summer, after his brilliant performances in Budapest, Lyles told a press conference that NBA players have no right calling themselves world champions when they only play among themselves in the U.S. A number of the league's biggest stars, including Kevin Durant, clapped back at the comment, but back-to-back MVP Giannis Antetokounmpo supported Lyles' statement. And that's it for your morning sports.
Mommy, what are you sneaking and eating?
You catch me.
That's not the mother's Easter bun you promised me, is it?
No. Well, yes. Well, I was preparing it for you for tomorrow. And a little drop off.
You call them 2 slice liquor, Mommy?
You catch me. Shouldn't you be asleep?
With all the noise, Mommy, I need some mother's Easter bun before I go back to bed.
Winner of the 2023 King of Buns Easter Bun Contest. Mother's Easter Bun is baked to perfection.
A sub bun be nice. Can I get another slice?
Mother's Easter Bun. Grab one before them done.
More deliciousness.
More deliciousness from Mother's Bakery.
In business this morning, gas prices are going down. Motorists will pay 9 cents more for a litre of 9 cents less rather for a litre of 87 octane gasoline. 90 octane will also be sold for 9 cents less. Automotive diesel oil will go down by 25 cents. Ultra-low sulfur diesel will also go down by 25 cents. Meanwhile, kerosene goes up by $1.23. Propane cooking gas will go down by $2.43. Butane will also be sold for $2.62 less. Marketing companies and retailers will add their markups to these prices. The UK government says foreign governments will be banned from owning UK newspapers and news magazines in the country. It follows criticism of a proposed takeover of the Daily Telegraph and Spectator by a United Arab Emirates-backed investment firm, Redbird IMI. The government said the proposed legislation would deliver additional protections for a free press. A spokesperson for the UAE-funded group said they were extremely disappointed about the development. Labour has indicated it will back the change, which will be in an amendment to a new law being debated next week. There had been growing cross-party pressure on the government to act, and it was facing a possible defeat in the House of Lords on Wednesday from peers who wanted to see urgent action. Announcing the ban, Lord Parkinson of Whitley Bay said the new law would rule out newspaper and periodical news magazine mergers involving ownership, influence, or control by foreign states. Finally now, in foreign exchange trading this morning, the Jamaican dollar has gained 3 cents and will open trading today, selling for an average $155.51 against the benchmark U.S. dollar. The Jamaican dollar has lost 16 cents and will open trading today, selling for an average $115.25 against the Canadian. And finally, the Jamaican dollar has lost $3.31 and will open trading this morning, selling for an average $200.33 against the British pound. That's it for business this morning.
It's This Morning on Nationwide 90 FM. The time is
6:30.
Get up to $1 million off everything. With the Mitsubishi $1 million sale. Price a splash, save cash, run, come catch the Mitsubishi $1 million sale. Get up to $1 million off on your brand new Mitsubishi ASX or Pajero Sport with the Mitsubishi $1 million sale. Plus 3 years warranty, 2 years free servicing, and 1 year free Amber Tracker. Follow us on social media at Mitsubishi JA for more info. Hurry up and come get this deal while stocks last. Only at Stewart's Automotive Group, South Camp Road, Kingston, and Iron Shorma Bay. Conditions apply.
For all your electrical needs, visit ABC Electrical Sales. They stock a wide variety of electrical supplies including plugs, switches, panel boards and conduits, plus energy-saving fixtures. ABC Electrical Sales stocks brands like GE, Siemens, Philips, Cutler Hammer and Allen Bradley. They also offer free island-wide delivery just to suit your needs. Visit them at Shop 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10, or call 876-754-3714-5 or 876-754-3825-8. ABC Electrical Sales for a better choice in the electrical business.
Did you know that many of my schoolmates have an unhealthy diet, especially at school, and now 23% of them are overweight and or obese? And so one less sugary drink at my school may mean one friend less,
or 2 or 3,
at risk of cavities or diabetes. And if we're served less foods high in saturated fats, sugar and sodium, it may reduce our risk from obesity, heart disease and high blood pressure.
The solution is simple, right? Act now.
Let's get unhealthy foods and beverages out of our schools.
A message from the Heart Foundation of Jamaica and partners.
There are people dying. Oh, when it's time to lend a hand to life, the greatest gift of all. We can't go on pretending day by day that someone somewhere will soon make a change. We are a part of God's great big family, and the truth, you know, love is all we need. We are the world, we are the children, we are the ones who make a brighter day, so let's start giving. There's a choice we're making, we're saving our own lives. It's true, we make a better day, just you and me. Well, send them your heart, so they know that someone cares, and their lives will be stronger and free. As God has shown us by turning stone to bread, and so we all must lend a helping hand. We are the world, we are the children, we are the one to make a brighter day, so let's start giving. Oh, there's a choice we're making, we're saving our lives. It's true, we make a better day, just you and me. When you're down and out, there seems no hope at all. But if you just believe, there's no way we can fall. Well, to realize, oh, that a time's gonna come when we stand together as one.
We are the world indeed. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. You're tuned in to Nationwide this morning, NTM, the big show. Thank you so much for joining us in the space. Really, really happy to have you. It is Thursday, March 14, 2024. And I'm Tana Thomas.
And I am Saeed Bernard, top of the morning to you, of course. Beautiful music being played there, written by Michael Jackson, Lionel Richie. That was Michael Jackson, Lionel Richie. Yeah, they were the two main writers that I know about. Yeah, I watched the whole documentary on this song, you know. Exactly. So, yeah. So now that's with you. Inclusive of Lionel Richie and Michael Jackson, there is... Oh, Lord. You know, I'm looking at the face right now. Because I watched the documentary. It's morning time. You know, the brain can move slow sometimes in the morning. Yeah. I'm going to use that excuse this morning. But there was Harry Belafonte in it. I know there was... What's her name? Is Whitney? It was Whitney. Tina Turner. I know there was... I'm looking at his face right now as well. Ray Charles, yeah. The other guy that they said had glass in his voice. He had a particular voice. I don't remember his name. Yeah, him, Bruce as well. And then there's the lady with the blonde. Oh yeah, that was her. Yeah, and some others. Yeah. Yep. I need to watch that documentary.
That's a good suggestion.
Wow. I know there was Diana Ross as well. Diana Ross was in that song. Yeah, but anyways.
Yeah.
What's up, Tono?
It's a busy day.
Very, very busy day.
It's shaping up to be a busy day.
It's shaping up to be, I was saying to Ricardo, pandemonium. But yeah, there's a lot starting from the top of the morning. The appeal concerning Sean Storm and others, Sean Campbell. And we are due to have as well the budget debate. Julian Robinson pacing the floor for the opposition. Certainly, he has a lot to answer for, really and truly, as it relates to the promises that the People's National Party president has been putting forward. One of those suggestions being the increase of the tax threshold, especially in light of the finance minister being at the wicket on Tuesday and saying, this is what it would cost. We've run the numbers. This is what it would cost. It's now in turn for the opposition to convince the people, if they can, to say it will cost this, yes, but this is how we will finance it. Because, Tana, we're past the age and stage, I hope at least, where we just give out goodies in the name of giving for giving's sake and not balancing the macroeconomics. And so they have to show that balance as well. And I think, or I can hope rather, Tana, that the electorate, they are thinking about these things. How can we not go back to where we've come from? And how can we maintain what we have and move forward to do the things that we would want? For example, again, the increase in the tax threshold to a minimum I'm hearing now on the ground of $2 million. Persons are saying, no man, we'd accept at least $2 million. Finance minister said we can't afford it. Simply put, let's take it step by step. It's for the opposition now to convince the people that it can be done and how it will be done, among other things. Yeah, so that for me, very, very important, and that remains to be seen. So that within itself, as it relates to Parliament, is another thing. As well, Tana, coming out from yesterday, the police commissioner has been confirmed as Dr. Kevin Blake, and you'd have heard in the news earlier this morning, Mark Shields coming out and saying, you know, excellent man, he's equipped, he's qualified, he has more resources now than they would back then. And so, given Dr. Blake's qualifications as it relates to technology, intelligence, we are expecting for the force to continue to build out its investigative capacity and its infrastructure, the telecommunications, the being able to communicate from vehicle to vehicle, mobile units all across the island or within the divisions, you know, building out the intelligence infrastructure of the JCF, building out programs like Jamaica Eye, so that every single stoplight has a camera. Those are things that fall under the Ministry of National Security, but certainly, to my mind at least, I can see where the Services Commission was thinking as it relates to the capacity of the JCF to use those things and to continue to develop and to transform. Again, he was formerly in charge of logistics and development. And so, as police commissioner, certainly we hope to see what entails from his tenure. But the biggest news item of them all, Tana, the biggest one of them all, is the case. And I want to take some time to just remind our listeners and viewers from whence we came. What is the Privy Council now ruling on? The matter is Sean Campbell and 3 others against the King as a respondent. Yeah. And this case is coming from the Court of Appeal of Jamaica to the Privy Council. And the issue is that on the 13th of March, 2014, the appellants were convicted of the murder of Clive Lizard Williams. The issue in this appeal is whether their convictions are safe in light of the following grounds of challenge. 1, should the trial judge have excluded the telecommunications evidence relied on by the prosecution? 2, how should the judge have handled the allegations that there were attempts to bribe members of the jury during the trial? Should the jury have been discharged? And number 3, was the judge wrong to invite the jury to reach a verdict late in the day given the special circumstances of the case? Certainly, you will recall that after the trial lasting 64 days before the trial judge and a jury in the Home Circuit Court in Kingston, the appellants were convicted of Mr. Williams' murder. The prosecution's case was that the appellants murdered Mr. Williams on the 16th of August 2011 after he failed to return 2 unlicensed firearms, which the second appellant, Mr. Palmer, had given him for safe keeping. And you'd recall that that unlicensed firearm was referred to as shoes. Mr. Williams was not seen or heard from after that date, and his body has never been found. The police took the appellants into custody on the 30th of September 2011 and seized their cellular phones. The prosecution relied heavily on evidence derived from those phones, which was taken from a copy of a CD-ROM provided by Digicel, of course, a telecommunications provider here, in response to a police request. At the trial, the appellants challenged the admissibility of this telecommunications evidence. They argued that the police requested Digicel and Digicel's provision of data to the police were carried out in breach of the Interception of Communications Act. Further, the evidence had been obtained in breach of the fundamental right to the protection of privacy of communication guaranteed by the Charter of Fundamental Rights and Freedoms contained in the Jamaican Constitution. However, at trial, the judge ruled that the telecommunications evidence was in fact admissible. Very important here concerning one of the issues that the Privy Council was asked to rule on. During the trial, certainly, the judge became aware of an allegation that a juror had attempted to bribe others by offering $500,000 for a particular outcome. After investigating the allegation and considering it with counsel for both the prosecution and the defense, the judge decided that the trial should proceed. He did not discharge the jury or that particular juror said to have offered the bribes. The judge finished his summing up at 3:42 p.m. on the 13th of March 2014. Again, another important point of fact here. He finished his summing up at 3:42 p.m. Court usually ends at 4 p.m. The jury returned at 5:35 p.m. when the forewoman told the court that the jury had not reached a unanimous verdict. The judge sent the jury out again, and at 6:08 p.m. the jury returned and by a majority of 10-1 convicted the appellants of the murder of Mr. Williams. Of course, these points were argued at the Jamaica Court of Appeal and it was dismissed. The appellants are now before His Majesty in council. So certainly the fate of Sean Campbell, Adidja Palmer, Kahira Jones, Andre St. John lie in the balance and in wait as we hear the advice to His Majesty in council at 11 o'clock this morning. It is certainly a day that we have been waiting for. Certainly a day where our jurisprudence hangs in the balance to see how this matter is treated with. Yeah? So a lot to happen today. That's what's on my mind.
It's This Morning on Nationwide 90 FM. The time is
14 minutes to 7 o'clock.
Your taxes hold the key.
TAJ, through its annual Special Taxpayer Assistance Program, STAP, will host tax advisory, taxpayer education sessions, and webinars island-wide for micro and small business persons to help them meet their annual obligations for filing income tax returns to meet the March 15 deadline. Visit our website at jamaicatax.gov.jm or call 888-TAX-HELP for details. Tax Administration Jamaica, working together to serve you even better.
Jumpstart your fitness goals with Express Fitness. Sign up today and restart your fitness journey at an Express Fitness location near you. Enjoy safe, comfortable, and well-equipped gyms from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. daily. Call 554-5180 for a full listing of our open locations. Express Fitness. Express Fitness. Your goal, our mission.
Time to pay your tax? Relax! You've got this with your Sagicor Bank Business Credit Card. Use your Sagicor Bank Business Credit Card to pay your taxes and get a 1-month payment holiday. New cardholders get first-year annual fee waived. Plus, you get up to 55 days interest-free and earn unlimited reward points every time you spend. So when you're ready to pay your tax, relax! You've got this. Use your Sagicor Bank Business Credit Card and enjoy the best rewards ever. Conditions apply.
Go crazy for this offer from Flow. Get a free Samsung phone and earbuds when you sign up for Flow Yard and Road for the special price of $4,999 plus GCT. Free is all the craze. This crazy offer won't last long. Visit discoverflow.co or your nearest Flow store for more info. Conditions apply.
Street Smart and the JUTC Morning Commute is brought to you by JUTC, your route to excellence, and the Road Safety Unit in the Island Traffic Authority.
It's 12 minutes going up to 7 o'clock, and of course, it's time for Street Smart with Ludlow McLean. Good morning, Ludlow.
Morning, Side. Morning, Tona.
Hey to you, Ludlow.
Right, and morning to our listeners, our visitors to our island. Just to let you know that it's a bright and sunny Thursday morning, and already, even minutes before 6 o'clock this morning, the road, some areas were quite busy, quite active. When I say that, already places like Mullines Road, heading south, all the way down, heading into Half-a-Tree, quite active. The same thing along Red Hills Road and the other road joining there, Mannings Hill Road, quite busy, quite active. And those of you who are making their way into Half-a-Tree, you're going to find that Half-a-Tree is quite active also. Even going through Half-a-Tree Road, all lanes are extremely busy at this point in time. So it means that when we get to the peak hour, there's much more vehicular flow as we go to your various destinations. So that's what's happening. And I should also mention that a lot of commuters are going about their business. So at this time of the morning, I'm taking you back to the studios.
Thank you so much, Ludlow. That's Street Smart. Up next, Tona has your word of the day.
Street Smart and the JUTC Morning Commute was brought to you by JUTC, your route to excellence, and the Road Safety Unit in the Island Traffic Authority.
Your word of the day, spelled Tourtiere, spelled Tourtiere.
Tourtiere. Tourtiere. Tourtiere.
Tell the listeners how you were pronouncing it before.
Tano, why you have to sell me out like that, Tano?
Come.
I looked at the pronunciation and I'm saying I probably Tourtiere.
That's not what you said.
Tourtiere or something like that. Tourtiere. That's what I was saying.
No.
Tourtiere.
No, that's not what you said.
What would it say?
You said tortilla.
Yeah, because the ears you have to Tourtiere. Well, them just a Tourtiere.
Can we have the pronunciation again, please?
Tourtiere.
Tourtiere. Alright, yeah, you really never have the Tourtiere.
It did not.
I was expecting the French air, Yeah.
Your word of the day is pronounced tourtiere. It's spelled Tourtiere. It's a noun, and it means a pastry-covered pie containing minced pork or other chopped meat and various chopped vegetables. And Jermaine is going to pull up a picture for you on our YouTube channel, Nationwide 90 FM Live, of what a tourtiere looks like. Yeah. So it's a pastry-covered pie containing minced pork or other chopped meat and various chopped vegetables. And the word tourtiere, it comes from Canadian French, translating as a plate for tarts. And the word tourtiere was first recorded into English in 1950, between 1950 and 1955. And the sentence is provided by dictionary.com this morning. For their holiday celebration, the family prepared a traditional tourtiere using a recipe passed down through generations. Another for you, the aroma of the tourtiere cooking in the oven filled the kitchen, creating a warm and inviting atmosphere for the guests. Your word of the day, it's about food. The word is tourtiere, spelt Tourtiere. It's a noun meaning a pastry-covered pie containing minced pork or other chopped meat and various chopped vegetables. I've never had a tourtiere, but I feel like Jamaicans do, make a version of this, but perhaps call it something different.
Would it be like a shepherd's pie?
I'm wondering. Could we pull up a picture of what a shepherd's pie looks like? Shepherd's pie has minced pork in it as well.
Minced meat.
Minced meat. Pork. Okay, so let's pull up a picture of what a shepherd's pie looks like, because the tortilla and that might fall into the same category, but perhaps in different parts of the world people prepare it a little bit different, but it turns out looking the same and perhaps tasting quite similar.
That's a shepherd's pie?
No, this is still the tortilla.
Oh no.
Let me see. That's the shepherd's.
Yeah. So it still has a little crust at the top there. The meat is in the middle.
Okay, so it's close. It's close because the shepherd's pie also has vegetables and some chopped meat in it, and has a crust on top.
Right.
A pie. And the tortilla is just like that as well. So, yeah, similar. Somebody's saying our version is a patty.
Good one.
Okay, yeah, good one. That came from Lorna on our YouTube chat. And is this Clumsy Cuthbert was also saying our version is a patty.
Only thing we need then is the vegetable.
It has a crust and some kind of minced meat inside. So, okay, that works.
That can work. That can work.
So that's your word of the day. Tortilla. Gonna go to our features at the top of the hour. The news.
There are numerous diseases that can affect our vision as we age. Today in Coming of Age, we'll be looking at age-related macular degeneration, a disease that can contribute to age-related vision. We'll explore the causes, signs, treatment, and prevention options. Age-related macular degeneration, or AMD for short, is an eye disease that affects your central vision. AMD targets the macula, which is the back part of the retina that controls your central vision. While a person with AMD may have trouble seeing what is directly in front of them, their peripheral vision remains fine. If you are 50 and older, you can develop AMD, especially if you have any of these risk factors: family history, being overweight, smoking, hypertension, and a diet high in saturated fats. There are two types of AMD, dry and wet. Dry or atrophic AMD affects the majority of persons with AMD. It develops when tiny yellow protein deposits called drusen form under the macula. This buildup dries and thins the macula. Vision loss with dry AMD tends to occur gradually, and most persons don't completely lose central vision. Wet or exudative AMD occurs when abnormal blood vessels develop under the retina and the macula. These blood vessels usually fill up with fluid, and sometimes these fluids leak in your eye. Because of this fluid buildup, a bulge forms in the macula and you may see dark spots in your center vision. This type of AMD is more severe and can lead to total loss of central vision. There are 3 stages of AMD. During the early stages, the macula undergoes slight changes, but your vision remains unaffected. Once you enter the intermediate stage, your vision may get blurry. And the advanced stage is where your central vision fails completely. Though most persons with AMD don't have symptoms until the disease progresses, you may experience blurred or low vision, blank or dark spots in your center field, or the appearance of waves or curves in straight lines. Because AMD rarely causes symptoms in its early stages, annual eye examinations are key to detecting the disease. During the eye exam, your ophthalmologist will check for changes to the retina and the macula. By starting your treatment early, you can slow the progression or reduce the severity of symptoms because AMD isn't curable. Even with successful treatments, AMD symptoms often return. Depending on the disease type, treatments include wearing eyeglasses or contact lenses, wearing brighter lights at home or work, and reading with a magnifying device. Age-related macular degeneration can affect your quality of life as you get older. Schedule an appointment to know where you stand. That's all for Coming of Age. Until next time.
Fearless and Fair, Nationwide 90 FM.
Do not let the first impression you make about yourself be your personal scent preferences. Should you wear whatever perfume you want to work without a care in the world? Well, let's find out. I'm Tana and I've got you covered. It's time for your lifestyle pages. Avoid wearing perfume and heavily scented products in all business settings. You might like them, but they have no place in a business environment. Scents can trigger asthma, overpower a room, and are often more offensive than pleasing to others. Try as much as possible to wear scents that aren't overpowering. It doesn't hurt to select a mild perfume from the store for work only, and when you do, try to stick with it. You probably already know that many business places are smoke-free, but some are now going scent-free. If you're not sure, ask your human resource representative if there are any unique requirements about the workplace dress code. And speaking of a smoke-free environment, never smell like smoke. If you smoke in a car, your clothing will always pick up the odor when going for a job interview. A strong smell may distract the person interviewing you from focusing on your skills if all they can think about is how you smell. So, next time you enter a perfume shop, remember to select something mild, just for work. Until next time, I'm Tana, and that was your Lifestyle Pages.
Nationwide 90 FM, continuing the tradition of fair, fearless, and factual reporting.
From Negril Point to Morant Bay, a little kindness can go a far way. The time by the Jamaica Information Service is...
It's news time, 7 o'clock.
If you need to build it, plumb it, weld it, pave it, or power it, National Supply has it. Get the best brands for the job at Jamaica's Industrial Hardware Superstore, Kingston or Bay. The temperature by National Supply is
26 degrees Celsius here in Kingston, 25 out west in Montego Bay.
The most credible news in the morning. The news at 7 on Nationwide 90 FM.
A very good morning to you. I'm Ricardo Brooks. Coming up in the news at 7 for this morning, Thursday, March 14, 2024. The Privy Council to deliver ruling on the appeal of incarcerated dancehall star Vybz Cartel at 11 this morning. Principal of Taki High School, Errol Basco, is to return to the St. Mary Parish Court today on buggery charges. The incoming police commissioner, Dr. Kevin Blake, hailed as exceptionally qualified for the role. ACP Clifford Chambers says the police intends to work closely with stakeholders in Westmoreland to ensure peace is restored to the parish. In international news, Denmark to start compulsory enlistment of women for military service. The details after the break.
If it's news, it's got to be Nationwide 90 FM.
And now to the details. The UK-based Privy Council will rule this morning on the appeal of incarcerated dancehall star Vybz Cartel and his co-convicts. The ruling is expected to be handed down at 11 Jamaica time. Cartel, whose given name is Adidja Palmer, and his co-convicts Sean Storm Campbell, Kahira Jones and Andre St. John appealed their 2014 murder conviction. All four men were imprisoned for the 2011 killing of Clive Lizard Williams. They've maintained their innocence. The appeal hearing in the matter was held in London over 2 days last month, from February 14 to 15. Speaking on Nationwide earlier this month, Sean Storm's attorney, Bert Samuels, says the defense will strongly oppose the case being sent back to the local court of appeal to consider a retrial.
The men have already spent 15 years, 14 years in custody. Secondly, they have to pay attorneys again for trial. Thirdly, the witnesses are not necessarily available. They can't be found. Fourthly, the pre-trial prejudice of those voice notes and the people have been told what the case is about. It's going to be difficult to find a juror or a jury rather which has not been influenced by what they have heard in the media. And it's just in the interest of justice that this should be over. They have served, some of them, a third of their sentences already.
Bert Samuels, defense attorney. The Privy Council will be live streaming the decision on its website. The principal of Taki High School, Errol Basco, is to return to the St. Mary Parish Court today on buggery charges. Mr. Basco was granted bail in the sum of $600,000 when he appeared in court on Tuesday. He was charged on Sunday following allegations of sexual misconduct by an unemployed 23-year-old man in Gale, St. Mary. He resigned from his role as the PMP's caretaker for Western St. Mary following the allegations. One of the lawyers representing Mr. Basco is Osweth Senior Smith.
The learned parish judge had some prudent questions for the clerk of the court, and those questions having yielded some responses, I was given an opportunity to offer a rejoinder, which I did, and the learned parish judge did a balancing exercise, having heard of the antecedents of Mr. Basco, and offered him bail in the sum of $600,000 with sureties between 1 and 3, and with conditions for reporting to the police as well as surrender of travel documents. Basically, that was that, and it's set for the 14th of May.
Attorney at Law Osweth Senior Smith. The Opposition People's National Party PMP has congratulated incoming Commissioner of Police Dr. Kevin Blake. Dr. Blake's appointment takes effect next Tuesday, March 19. In a statement on Wednesday, the shadow spokesman on citizen security, Senator Peter Bunting, says the PMP will not second-guess the selection. But he says the opposition will be carefully observing Dr. Blake's performance in the months to come. Senator Bunting adds that the JCF under Dr. Blake's leadership must act impartially and professionally.
We therefore caution the new commissioner not to involve the JCF in public advocacy for matters that the Constitution reserves for Parliament and on which there is no political consensus. As we approach an election season, we also remind the Commissioner that it becomes especially important that the JCF behave and be seen as an impartial and professional force whose operations support the democratic process rather than one party or another's partisan interests.
Senator Peter Bunting, the Shadow Minister on Citizen Security. And former Deputy Commissioner of Police Mark Shields has hailed the incoming Commissioner of Police, Dr. Kevin Blake. Mr. Shields says Dr. Blake is exceptionally qualified for the role.
I think he brings the right balance of operational, strategic planning, intelligence and technology experience that will give him all of the skills that he will require to be, an excellent Commissioner of Police.
Mr. Shields says the support of the rank-and-file members of the force will also be key to Dr. Blake's success as Commissioner.
He will have to, of course, demonstrate some great leadership because the murder rate remains high. Crime and disorder in general on the street remains quite high, but I believe that with his background and his skills and being a homegrown Jamaican Subsidy Force Commissioner of Police, he'll get a lot of support from his colleagues. I think that the men and women on the ground respect him. They've seen the work that he's done already within the organisation. Since coming in as an assistant superintendent, he's risen through the rank. He's done extremely well, and because he has such a rounded skill base, that's why I think he's going to do well.
Mark Shields, former Deputy Commissioner of Police. The Commanding Officer for Area 1, Assistant Commissioner of Police ACP Clifford Chambers, says the police intends to work closely with all stakeholders in Westmoreland to ensure that peace is restored to the parish. A curfew has been in effect in Grange Hill since Monday amid an ongoing gang war between the King Valley and the Ants Posse gangs. At least 3 schools in the community were forced to close their doors on Tuesday as the flare-up in violence continued. The institutions are set to reopen for classes today. ACP Chambers says the police plan to collaborate with local schools, community leaders, and residents. He says the security forces have been moving around affected communities.
Consequent on the fear of crime, violence, gang, criminal activities in the Grangel space, the police with support from the military has initiated several initiatives to contain and cauterize the issues, whilst we target and focus on some communities and some persons of interest. We do have a curfew that is still in force, and at the same time, the security forces are conducting several road policing initiatives with support from specialized operation and the area team and the military, of course.
ACP Clifford Chambers, the commanding officer for the Area 1 Police. The police are calling on those with information that can assist with the investigations to call the police emergency number 119, Crime Stop at 311, the NIB tip line at 811, or visit the nearest police station. The Child Protection and Family Services Agency, the CPFSA, says it's deeply troubled by the killing of a St. Catherine family of 4 whose home was firebombed early Tuesday morning. The police say the house was set ablaze sometime after 1 by unknown assailants. The blaze left a mother, her 2 daughters, and her 4-year-old grandson dead. One of the daughters was 13 years old. Residents in the area reportedly heard screams coming from the house. The CEO of the CPFSA, Mrs. Laurit Adams Thomas, says the agency is saddened by the senseless killing of the family.
The CPFSA is deeply troubled by this heinous act of violence that took the lives of 4 members of the same family, 2 innocent children and 2 women in Central Village. We mourn with the surviving family members, and we are currently conducting an investigation to determine the kind of psychosocial and psychological interventions that we can offer to them. Our Children and Family Support Unit stands ready to assist in providing the necessary support, and they will also be referred to the Ministry of Justice's Victim Services Division for counseling.
Central Village is now under a 48-hour curfew. The curfew, which began at 6 p.m. on Tuesday, is to come to an end at 6 p.m. today. Mrs. Adams Thomas is appealing for an end to violence against vulnerable children and women.
The CPFSA and the Ministry of Education and Youth is calling for an end to all forms of violence against our children and our women. Neither should they become unnecessary casualties of intra-community disputes. Our children are our future, and it is heartrending to see how their innocent lives are being cut short, especially in such a senseless way.
Mrs. Laurit Adams Thomas, the CEO of the Child Protection and Family Services Agency, the CPFSA. WhatsApp messages exchanged between murdered businesswoman Simone Campbell Colmore and her husband Omar Colmore revealed a marriage in turmoil. The messages were revealed in court on Wednesday. They chronicled just how tumultuous the marriage was months before Mrs. Colmore was murdered. In October 2017, Simone sent WhatsApp messages to Colmore expressing that she was willing to look past his infidelity and work on their marriage. At that time, the couple was living apart. Colmore is on trial in the Supreme Court for her murder. It's alleged he contracted men to carry out the hit. Simone was shot and killed along with her taxi driver Winston Walters on January 2, 2018 on Stanley Terrace in Red Hills, St. Andrew. Robian Williams was in court.
A former forensic examiner testified about how he physically extracted the messages from Colmore's phones in 2019. A total of 4 phones were seized belonging to Colmore, but only 2 were examined due to technical difficulties. The witness said he carried out the extraction on 2 Samsung phones. He said he extracted WhatsApp conversations, voice notes, and pictures from the phones. The prosecutor instructed him to search for WhatsApp conversations between October 2 and October 4, 2017. On October 3 at 1 p.m., Colmore messaged Simone.
So hear what? I want to get this done.
He sent another message after saying,
Look, I'm truly sorry about whatever we're going through. I did this.
Simone replied, Omar, I want you. I want my marriage and I want my family. The kids are hurting and I am hurting. You're hurting. And I don't know what else to tell you. Simone sent, I don't want to live like this anymore, where you're indirectly blaming me for everything. I just want to know if this is really the life we're going to put our kids through. Omar replied,
Until we really get back on track, this is what needs to be done, Simone.
In response, Simone sent, This is what needs to be done? Listen to you. It's like you never cheated. It's like you never had a woman intentionally hurting me. It's like I'm begging you. Colmore responded,
Nah, Sim, you're not. Let's not go tit for tat, please, because before women, you and I had it way worse. I was getting treated like up there. All the issue, you see, was all you and I. No women. I was feeling down and unhappy of everything. And you didn't understand the damage I've been through, Simone. Have you ever think why I would come home late and be drunk just to fall asleep?
To this Simone sent, Omar, I didn't see it before, but I'm here looking past everything to work on it. I've told you I want my marriage. My family, I want my children to have their parents under one roof. But if you do not want it, I am going to accept it and move on and give you a full separation. I'm not thinking of anything in the past. I want my man. But you have to want me just as much. The things you did to me teach me a lesson. And that lesson is I deserve better. I'm not going to continue to run you down. I know I'm a good woman and a good wife. And if you can't see it, it's your loss. I'm done crawling on my knees. Do what you want. Colmore is jointly charged with 3 others. Michael Adams, Dwayne Pink, and Shaquille Edwards. A 5th man, Wade Blackwood, who was one of the shooters, pleaded guilty and was sentenced to life in prison. Blackwood is now a Crown witness. The trial will continue on Thursday morning at 10. Robianne Williams for Nationwide News.
In international news now, Denmark has announced plans to extend military conscription to women for the first time and increase the standard service time. It also wants to boost its defense budget by nearly $6 billion in the next 5 years to meet NATO targets. Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen says they do not rearm because they want war. She says they are rearming because they want to avoid it. Tensions in Europe have spiked since Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine in February 2022. Unveiling the reforms on Wednesday, Ms. Frederiksen said the government was seeking to achieve full equality between the sexes. Meanwhile, Defense Minister Troels Lund Poulsen said more robust conscription, including full gender equality, must contribute to solving defense challenges, national mobilization, and manning the armed forces. Women in the Scandinavian country can already volunteer for military service. That's the news at 7 this morning. I'm Ricardo Brooks.
Sign up for the JN Money Card. It's safe, convenient, and free. The time by JN Money is...
It's 16 minutes after 7.
Taxpayers, pay your taxes online at www.jamaicatax.gov.jm. Call 888-TAX-HELP for more details. The Temperature, brought to you by Tax Administration Jamaica, working together to serve you better, is...
It's 26 degrees Celsius here in Kingston, 25 out west in Montego Bay.
We're welcoming every woman with a special International Women's Day offer at Sagicor Bank. Women who apply for a Sagicor Bank credit card get 5,000 bonus points with a qualifying purchase within 30 days. That's not all. Apply for a car loan or mortgage, and Sagicor Bank will welcome you with a reduction in your commitment fee. At Sagicor Bank, we want every woman to feel welcome. Conditions apply.
Did you know that many of my schoolmates have an unhealthy diet, especially at school, and now 23% of them are overweight and or obese? And so one less sugary drink at my school may mean one friend less,
or 2 or 3,
at risk of cavities or diabetes. And if we're served less foods high in saturated fats, sugar and sodium, it may reduce our risk from obesity, heart disease and high blood pressure.
The solution is simple, right? Act now.
Let's get unhealthy foods and beverages out of our schools.
A message from the Heart Foundation of Jamaica and partners.
Experience a luxurious adults-only getaway at Hideaway at Royalton Blue Waters. Reconnect with your loved ones and discover a world of all-inclusive indulgence surrounded by palm trees, a private islet, and endless sunsets. Save up to 40% off your next all-in luxury group vacation experience when you book 10 rooms or more from now until February 28, 2024. Simply dial 876-632-7401 and speak to your group sales agent today.
Street Smart and the JUTC Morning Commute is brought to you by JUTC, your route to excellence, and the Road Safety Unit in the Island Traffic Authority.
18 minutes after 7, time for a second traffic report. Ludlow McLean has Street Smarts. Good morning, Ludlow.
Morning again. Ricardo.
Morning.
Ricky B. The listeners of Motor in Public. Just to tell you that those of you who are heading, out of St. Catherine into the corporate area, remember, the Mandela has traffic, lots of traffic, and you know why? Most of the traffic is coming from places like Spanish Town, Old Harbour. You take that, the Mandela Highway, you come to the most via the Jose Marti roundabout, and then there's traffic also coming out of Colmore, and Colmore has been busy all morning as you get out onto the Municipal Boulevard, then onto the Mandela. Definitely there's traffic. So as a consequence, 6 miles to 3 miles as usual, busy at this time, and 6 miles to Washington Boulevard. All these intersections of Duhaney Drive, Washington Boulevard, Kenhill Drive, Washington Boulevard, and Malines Boulevard intersections. Quite busy, quite active. Now, those of you who are heading to Half a Tree via Malines Boulevard, it's going to be bumper-to-bumper traffic as you make your way. And also, if you're on Walton Park Road, it is also quite active as you make your way to the intersection of Walton Park Road and Hagley Park Road. And by now, most intersections are busy as you make your way to your various destinations. So quite a very busy Thursday morning, quite active. And no doubt, beyond this report, you'll have much more traffic in many other areas. And all I ask and advise, you have to be careful as you make your way. As usual, at Street Smart, your safety is our concern. Ricardo.
Thanks, Ludlow. Ludlow McLean there with Street Smarts. Up next, Nationwide This Morning continues with Tana Thomas and Saeed Bernard.
Street Smart and the JUTC Morning Commute was brought to you by JUTC, your route to excellence, and the Road Safety Unit in the Island Traffic Authority.
Front Page is brought to you today by ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business. For all your electrical needs, visit ABC Electrical Sales. They stock a wide variety of electrical supplies including plugs, switches, panel boards and conduits, plus energy-saving fixtures. ABC Electrical Sales stocks brands like GE, Siemens, Philips, Cutler Hammer and Allen Bradley. They also offer free island-wide delivery just to suit your needs. Visit them at Shop 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10, or call 876-754-3714-5 or 876-754-3825-8. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business.
7:22. Thank you so much for staying with us. We now turn to the front page. I'm Saeed Bernard.
And I'm Tawna Thomas.
The General Consumption Tax, GCT, on all raw food items, imported or domestic, will be removed. Finance and the Public Service Minister Dr. Nigel Clark made the announcement as he opened the 2024-25 budget debate in the House of Representatives on Tuesday.
In keeping with Jamaica's trade obligations, the GCT on all raw foodstuff, imported or domestic, will be removed. This is a measure, Madam Speaker, that will be revenue negative and will result in foregoing $2.4 billion of revenue. And the measure will take place in the first quarter of 2024-25. Although, Madam Speaker, this is a measure that emerges from trade-related matters, it will mean the opportunity to provide more affordable imported raw foodstuff to Jamaican consumers, to increase the chance of these, Madam Speaker. So it's opportune that at this time, what this allows is for cheaper vegetables, Madam Speaker, to be available, Madam Speaker, to the Jamaican customers.
Dr. Clark posited that GCT, being an internal tax that is charged on only imported raw food items and not on locally produced raw foodstuff, may be interpreted as a measure that gives protection to domestic production. He says if that policy is not amended, trade sanctions are likely to be imposed on Jamaica. Dr. Clark says he's spoken with Agriculture Minister Floyd Green to ensure local customers benefit from the tax removal.
We don't have a choice. We're not going to wait until the blacklisting from the WTO is final to do something about it. And we can provide you with the evidence to support what we're saying. So, Madam Speaker, to make sure that the benefit of these vegetables reduction coming in go to the customer, Madam Speaker, I had opportunity to have a conversation with the Ministry of Agriculture, where I've suggested to him that in light of this change, it would be good that if you used to have, pick a number, 10 import license for this kind of product, that you move to have 12 or 15, just to make sure that competition keeps the market honest so that the gain passes through to consumers.
Dr. Nigel Clark, the Finance Minister. Certainly, what impact will this have on the agriculture sector? We are joined by the Agriculture Minister, Floyd Green, and President of the Jamaica Agriculture Society, Lenworth Fulton. Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning, Saeed. Morning, Tana. Morning, Fulton. Morning to all your listeners and viewers out there.
Mr. Fulton.
Good morning to Minister and nationwide.
Good. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining us on the front page this morning. Let me start with you, Minister. In giving your reaction to the Finance Minister's statement concerning the removal of the GCT, if you could outline for our listeners and viewers what usually obtains as it relates to importing these goods and your reaction to the Finance Minister's statement.
To put the full context out there, GCT is only one item that is charged and that is levied on importation of raw foods, and that is especially in relation to our vegetable lines. So normally, if somebody is looking to import our vegetable lines, not only would they traditionally have to pay GCT, but they would have to pay a duty on that item, and they would have to pay additional stamp duty. And in fact, GCT is the smallest cost that is levied. So the duty on importing vegetables into Jamaica is 100%. And then the additional stamp duty for most vegetables that we produce is 80%. So in grand terms, the removal of the GCT is removing the smallest portion thereof, and there are still, based on our trade arrangements, there are still a high duty regime in relation to the importation of vegetables. And clearly that is important because, again, through various negotiations, you have to ensure that as much as possible that you have your farmers have a level playing field, and that's what we have been consistently trying to do. In relation to the GCT, and I think the Minister was very clear in his presentation. The reality is that we did have a review from the WTO. They did come and they did interview the Ministry of Finance, and they did look at our various trade policies. And as the Minister rightfully put it, in relation to the agreements which we signed decades ago, the reality is that if you're going to charge a consumption tax, or let's put it the other way, we have not charged consumption tax on raw foods that are produced locally. But in relation to our international arrangements, if you're going to do that, then you should not also charge it on raw foods that are produced internationally, because they're seen under our trade arrangements as unfair treatment. And as such, the options were to put the GCT on raw foods locally, or to put or to remove the GCT wholesale. The better approach is to remove the GCT wholesale. Again, that is just only one of the slew, and then with all our vegetable lines, if you are going to import our vegetable lines, clearly you have to fulfill phytosanitary requirements. So there is a process that people have to go through. So nobody can wholesale just go and import vegetables without coming through the Ministry of Agriculture and having us do the various checks. I think now that the GCT has been removed, clearly, as the Minister said, one of the things that we have to do wholesale is look back at the regime that we utilize, ensure that there are not people who are trying to utilize this now to dump items from abroad, and to ensure that we tighten any sort of structures we have in place, so that we, one, are very clear of who are doing importation, and that they follow strict guidelines. But the policy of the government is to drive local production. That is our policy. And thankfully, we still have high duty rates in that regard. And what we have to do from the ministry standpoint is continue on our journey to make our local farmer more efficient, to ensure that they get the support that they need to continue to drive production.
So just to have it clear, Minister, what you're saying is that you intend, as the Agriculture Minister, to also review the number of importers who are importing raw food stuff?
We intend to look at the system that we now utilize. And we have different systems that we use to ensure that we are not susceptible to dumping of external food items. And that is something that as a small island state we always have to pay keen attention to. So already I have convened a team at the ministry. We're looking through the vegetable lines. Clearly, there has always been differentiated treatment for things that we grow and that we grow well, as opposed to things that we don't grow. Right? What we have to ensure is that the things that we grow and we grow well, that our farmers have the space to do the best, and we will always maintain that. And that is our strict policy. We are a farmer-first government, and as such we will ensure that they have the space needed to continue to cultivate, to continue to do what they love, and to continue to get returns on their investments. I think when a number of people heard the announcement, they thought that by removing the GCT, you were removing completely the additional cost that it would take to import, the additional cost that would be levied, but that's not the case. So it used to be, let's put it in context, it used to be if you're importing something like cabbage, that you would pay 195% additional. That should include the GCT, the additional stamp duty, sorry, and the duty. Now it will go down to 180%.
Mr. Fulton, hold the line there for us. We're up on the break, but after the break, certainly want to find out from you, even with the clarification from the minister as it relates to the other fees still being there, but it's just the GCT that's been removed. Is there still an impact that your sector will face? After the break.
Give up every illegal gun. Call the police at 119 or Crime Stop at 311. The time by the Ministry of National Security is
7:31.
If you are a parliamentarian or a public official listed in the Jamaica Gazette December 5, 2023 regarding the Integrity Commission Act, or a public official receiving emoluments of $12 million or more during the period January 1, 2023 to December 31, 2023, you must file your statutory declarations as at December 31, 2023 and any outstanding statutory declarations on or before March 31. Download the updated statutory declarations form from the Integrity Commission's website at integrity.gov.jm/statutory declarations. Ask your Human Resource or Administration Division for further information. A message from the Integrity Commission.
Go crazy for this offer from Flow. Get a free Samsung phone and earbuds when you sign up for Flow Yard and Road for the special price of $4,999 plus GCT. Free is all the craze. This crazy offer won't last long. Visit discoverflow.co or your nearest Flow store for more info. Conditions apply.
Easter time come, me go pick up a mother's Easter bun.
It's a the king, you know. All the right ingredients, the proper amount of fruit, well soaked and baked to soft, delicious perfection.
A sub-bun for nice. So whether you add cheese, butter, or even a patty, mother's Easter bun is the one that will make you say, a sub-bun for nice.
Mother's Easter bun are the king, you know. Hurry and grab one before it's done.
More deliciousness.
More deliciousness from Mother's Bakery.
Welcome back to Nationwide this morning. You're still tuned in to our discussion segment, the front page. We're getting reactions to one of those announcements coming out of the opening presentation of the finance minister for the budget debates, where he has announced that the general consumption tax, GCT, on all raw food items imported or domestic will be removed. We're speaking with the Agriculture Minister, Floyd Green, and the President of the Jamaica Agricultural Society, Lenworth Fulton. Bringing you in now, Lenworth Fulton, you have said so far that this spells bad news for the local farmers. How do you see them being impacted by the removal of GCT on all raw food items?
In 2023, our food import bill is $1.43 billion. And we exported in agriculture 273 million, a quantum leap. This will be widened by many folds. The first question, can our economy afford it? Do we have the foreign exchange so what they would call plentiful, that we can do all of these things without looking on the macro effect? Number two, if you remove the GCT, which the minister has done, why didn't our minister lobby to put the equivalent on stamp duty to level the playing field? Nothing like that.
Well, hold on there, Mr. Fulton. Don't you think, though, that the WTO could still sanction us for an action like that if, on the books of it, we've removed something to, level this unfair trading as is required, but then we add back the cost? Substantially, we've done nothing then.
WTO had nothing to do with stamp duty, minister. Had nothing to do with it. We know the WTO rules. And there is no rule in Jamaica to prevent a hotel now, which is seen to see 15% incentive. It's cheaper to import now when you remove it. We agree that we have to obey the WTO rule. But what provision we have for a hotel to sell? Listen, I am not going to buy from our purveyors directly again. I am going straight to a foreign supplier and cut out the Jamaican farmer. All of these are permutations we have to deal with, All of these are permutations that will come up because we are in a society which is an import-based society, and people take advantage of everything. I am 100% in support of obeying the WTO rule. But since it is to make food cheaper, why we still have GCT and table eggs? The WTO rule point to that too, so that GCT and table eggs should be removed to expand the sale of table eggs as the cheapest protein to the Jamaican consumer. That is still there.
Yeah.
The GCT. I like to make.
Hold on, Minister. Yeah. I'll allow you to respond. Mr. Fulton, are you through?
No, sir.
I'll continue.
GCT is charged on seeds and small tools and agricultural equipment. Why don't you remove those to level the playing field for our Jamaican farmer? We have placed our Jamaican farmer into great disadvantage, Minister. And this GCT removal is diametrically opposed to your own policy and the new face of agriculture, where one of your columns is to export. But you're now putting a column in there to import. So I am asking you, Minister, to clear up these for us. And also importantly, the issuance of import license cannot be dealt with those few people you have in your ministry who do not have the support of the farmers on the ground. The JS sits every month with 27 different organizations in our board meeting, and we have not been invited to say sit on a committee like this to say let us rationalize the type of license we are giving.
Okay.
So we are really in a spot of bother, and we want to work with you, and we are working with you. But when
Minister.
things are so ugly, we have to speak up.
All right, so Minister, I'm going to allow you to respond, especially to the point where he's saying, add it back to the stamp duty.
Mr. Fulton and I have always had a good working relationship. I think we part company on a number of things, and we have to ensure that when we look at data, that we're drawing the right conclusions from the data. We'll make the wrong decision. So when Mr. Fulton bans around the food import bill, the question will be how much of that food import bill goes towards things like raw food, goes towards vegetables. I can tell you that is not a significant portion thereof. In fact, when you look at our food import bill, what we are bringing in a lot of are things that we utilize in our feeding systems. Things that we utilize in our feeding systems, corn, things like that will drive a number of our other industries. And part of what we're doing at the ministry is seeing how we can develop our own feed sources to reduce that. So banning about the food import bill is really not connected to what is happening here, because the reality is outside of periods of drought and intense periods of rainfall, our production of vegetables are at a high level, and we do supply our hotel industry completely with our vegetable lines. Only in periods of drought that we have these difficulties, and part of what we have to do as a ministry is to protect our farmers from these periods of drought. So, for example, yesterday I was in Hindstone, and we unveiled in Hindstone over 1 million gallon water catchment retention area, so that the farmer who faced the drought last year, right, could now treat with the situation much better this year. We looked at the production coming out of that field. So the reality is that correlating it to the food import bill is a false premise to start from. We know, and Mr. Fulton has been around long enough, he knows we have to break down the food import bill, and vegetables are not a big part of that food import bill.
And
so that is one.
Right, that's number one. His second point now was the stamp duty.
Number two, in relation to the stamp duty, I've already said it. Where we are at the higher levels in relation to stamp duty and in relation to duty itself. In other things that we don't produce, you will see duty of about 40%, additional stamp duty of 30%. This level of 180 is applied to areas where we believe we have a competitive advantage, right? So you will see it in our poultry industry, right? And again, you will see that we don't have significant importations of, we don't have importations of things like legs and leg quarters and only cuts that we don't offer, like, chicken back that we've spoken about time and time again. But so the reality is that even outside of the GCT, there is, based on where we've set our duty, it already recognizes that this is something that we can do and we can do well. And we all know when we're producing tomatoes outside of drought, when we're producing cabbage, lettuce, we don't have any challenges. And what it means is that it's genuinely uncompetitive for people to import these items at the duty rate as already set. Now, on the third point, in relation to
table eggs,
the lobby effort still continues, and I think all the farmers know, whether it be the egg farmers, whether it be our farmers on the local, whether it be our farmers who do vegetables and raw produce, all of them know that we continue to have an engagement with the Ministry of Finance around not just things like the removal of duty on table eggs, which is something we continue to lobby on, the removal of duty on things like seeds, but also on trying to expand the categories of concessions so that our farmers, traditionally it used to be that our farmers are only able to import vans to go into their agricultural enterprise under concession. We want to have that expanded to include things like panel vans because more farmers now are going into distribution. So those are conversations that continue. But while we continue that conversation, we on the flip side say to the Ministry of Finance, give us additional support through our production incentive program so that we can help our farmers directly. And we've been seeing some of that support. So our production incentive program is now over $1 billion. And what we use that to do is literally help farmers with inputs, whether it be planting material, fertilizer, chemical, on select product lines. So again, yesterday I would have looked at Irish potato fields. I would have seen Farmer Lewis over in Southeast St. Anne, who's getting double the national average in relation to yield by following the regime. Part of what we have to do is provide some more direct support and to help our farmers be more efficient so that we bring down the economies of scale, we ensure that our farmers can have more returns on their investment and that they are producing at lower cost. And that is something that we're working on. I'm now meeting with all the input suppliers because having gone around the country, having had 13 stakeholder engagements, we have heard from the farmers that they are concerned about the cost of fertilizer, they are concerned about the cost of chemicals, they are concerned about the cost of irrigation. So I have been meeting with the input providers to say, how can we get down some of these costs? And clearly, when I speak in the sector, it's something that I will address. So, you know, I don't
So Minister, before you go any further though, Minister, so as it relates to, for example, people going to the market, will it affect the price of these raw vegetables as it relates to going to the market?
So what you have seen, Said and Tano, is that in other words, when we don't have weather issues, we are able, based on our production numbers, to have a good price around almost all our vegetable lines. Clearly, last year was a difficult year because last year was our hottest and driest year on record. So what it means is that our farmers were unable to produce, especially those who use open field farming. Clearly, we have to build some resilience to ensure that when that happens, our farmers are still able to produce, whether it be under shade houses, greenhouses, or they have access to water. So we're working on that. So the point that I'm making, and it's a critical point, is that when it comes to our raw vegetables, we don't have challenges in the good times. The only time you see importation, and since I've been at the ministry, the only time you see requests for importation, and this includes our hotel sector, in relation to the vegetable lines that we do produce. The only time you see requests for importation is when we have these drought where the raw vegetables are genuinely short, and as such the prices are maybe unreachable in some instances.
Very well.
But when we are in regular times, we don't have these discussions. So our food import bill is not driven by raw vegetables. Our food import bill are driven by things like the importation of things like goat meat on the mutton, right, which we're working on a program to ramp that up, and as I said, largely by inputs into our feeding process.
Okay.
That is what
Minister, we're running out of time, but Mr. Fulton, before we go, final word to you. You've heard what the Minister said, lengthy response to the issues you've raised. What say you, having heard that response?
Well, I understand what the Minister is saying, but ultimately you are making importation of vegetables and raw food stuff 15 or 16% cheaper and more attractive to do than to set up a greenhouse or to produce. Who would invest now with this level of uncertainty in this economy where you're removing GCT?
Well, Mr. Fulton, Mr. Fulton, I want to understand what you're saying properly, Mr. Fulton. So are you saying that despite, quickly before we go, time is up, but despite what the minister has said as it relates to the other duties still being there and all of that, and that this importation of the raw vegetables really only and truly come in when we have a difficulty here because of our weather system, you're still saying and maintaining that it would create a problem based on what has happened for your local farmers?
It will create a problem because you open the floodgate.
The floodgates have not been opened, Mr. Fulton. Don't say that. We won't, and it will not happen.
Very well.
Not under this
Gentlemen,
minister,
gentlemen, thank you so much. That's Minister Floyd Green and Lenworth Fulton, the president of the Jamaica Agriculture Society. Seems like there needs to be some more ventilation and a conversation there, but that's all the time we have for it this morning. Yeah? We go for the break.
Listen up, motorists. Speeding burns more gas. So slow down. The life you save may be your own and also that of your loved ones. Slow down. Save lives and money. The time by the Insurance Association of Jamaica is
13 minutes to 8 o'clock.
At Hawkeye, our mission is to deliver cutting-edge security solutions to help you keep track of the things you value most.
The temperature by Hawkeye is
26 degrees here in Capital City, Kingston 25 out west in Montego Bay.
Your taxes hold the key.
TAJ, through its annual Special Taxpayer Assistance Program, STAP, will host tax advisory, taxpayer education sessions, and webinars island-wide for micro and small business persons to help them meet their annual obligations for filing income tax returns to meet the March 15 deadline. Visit our website at jamaicatax.gov.jm or call 888-TAX-HELP for details. Tax Administration Jamaica, working together to serve you even better.
Know your numbers and take control of your life. Don't wait till it's too late. Check your doctor today. Yeah. Get the BMI check, your blood pressure check, your blood sugar and cholesterol check. We're living well when we stay on top of our health. Know your numbers and take control of your life. Don't wait till it's too late. Check your doctor today. Know your numbers and take control. A message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
For all your electrical needs, visit ABC Electrical Sales. They stock a wide variety of electrical supplies including plugs, switches, panel boards and conduits, plus energy-saving fixtures. ABC Electrical Sales stocks brands like GE, Siemens, Philips, Cutler Hammer and Allen Bradley. They also offer free island-wide delivery just to suit your needs. Visit them at Shop 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10, or call 876-754-3714-5 or 876-754-3825-8. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business.
Public sector workers, are you ready? Registration is now open for the exciting public sector debate competition. Gather your teams and register by March 29. Visit publicsectortransformation.gov.jm for registration details or speak to your HR department. The competition is organized by the Transformation Implementation Unit, building a better public sector for all.
Welcome back to Nationwide this morning, turning our attention now to a discussion on another announcement made by the Finance Minister, Dr. Nigel Clark, to introduce an unemployment insurance scheme in Jamaica. Dr. Clark says the time has come for Jamaicans to now benefit from an unemployment insurance scheme, and that is a scheme. It refers to a program that provides financial coverage for persons in case they lose their job. Dr. Clark says employees who contribute to the National Insurance Scheme, NIS, will be automatically included in the plan. He says once it's confirmed that an employee has been terminated, the individual would become eligible to receive an unemployment benefit. That benefit would represent a specific percentage of their previous weekly income over a fixed period of time. But for you this morning, how does this scheme work in other jurisdictions in the region? We're being joined by Barbados economist Dr. Jeremy Stephen to tell us about what pertains in his country. Good morning to you.
Hey, good morning. How are you guys? Thanks for having me on.
We're doing well. Thank you so much for joining us here on Nationwide this morning. First of all, Dr. Stephen, that announcement made here in Jamaica now to move in the direction of having an unemployment insurance scheme. What's your reaction?
The first thing, just please refer to me as Jeremy. That's quite fine, Mr. Stephen.
Sure.
The reaction is, I mean, it should have, as far as I'm concerned, been happening a long time. I do understand the particular economic framework that Jamaica operated under, particularly given the relationship with the IMF, the turf one that it had in the 1980s, and then much progressively better since 2010. And I'm glad that there's enough, let's say, fiscal space for the government to undertake the responsibility of managing this official change that's coming about.
Mm-hmm. And for you over there in Barbados, the unemployment insurance scheme has been around, you said, for about 40 years or so? Over 40 years?
Yeah, since 1981. I had to go back and check. The reason I knew that it was over 40 years is that I turned 40 this year, and as long as I've been around, I knew that unemployment benefits were being paid.
Yeah, I
so
think
I knew it was definitely 40 years. But it was since July 1981.
1981. So tell us now, for our listeners here in Jamaica, they're hearing about this. It's the first in Jamaica. They want to know how it functions elsewhere. How was the scheme set up back in 1981 in Barbados?
Well, I mean, there are no real fundamental differences from since then. All that happened was that as you were making contributions towards your pension, the national insurance scheme, as we term it back home, it would just appropriate or take some of that contribution that you're making on a monthly basis.
1 second, Jeremy. Do you have us on speaker?
No, I don't. But I'll change. Can you hear me better now?
You sounded a bit distorted.
Can you hear me better now?
Go ahead.
Yeah, sounds right. No, I'm sorry. Right. So it is from 1981. It hasn't really changed that much. All that would happen is that they would appropriate some of your contributions, your monthly contributions that you make from your salary, from your employment, and the employers would obviously put a matching contribution. So you would have not just what you put as an employee, but what the employers put would be another half, sometimes a little more. And then the government, through the national insurance scheme, would just appropriate some of that money towards an unemployment benefit. Now, if you do become unemployed, you had the right to draw from that portion to help you. Normally, the expectation was back then that a person would be unemployed for at least a year before, well, really 6 months, until they found a job. That has changed given the economic issues in Barbados within the last 10 to 12 years. So it still works the same way except for, let's say, how quickly you can get access to your unemployment benefit. But again, the fundamental model of having an unemployment benefit scheme, it works, but it is heavily subjected to two factors, and this is something that needs to be clear, especially since Jamaicans seem rather concerned about this development, and I get a slightly negative tone towards it. It works once your economy is working well. That's the first thing, especially. And if it works, if there's a few years that you have
Jeremy, don't know if you're hearing me. You started to sound a bit muffled again.
I can hear very well.
You started to sound a bit.
I'm also. Can you hear me clearly now?
You sound very distorted. In fact, I don't know what's happening with the line there.
Oh, jeez, I don't know what's going on there.
Okay, we're hearing you a bit better now. We're hearing you a bit better now. You can continue.
All right.
Yes.
Yeah. So sorry about these guys, but yeah. So what's happening is, I think the fundamental model works once your economies work in A and B. That national insurance scheme is very good at how it invests those contributions, particularly the contributions that are appropriated towards the unemployment benefit scheme. I heard the Minister of Finance, because I follow the budget very closely, especially this year, talking about that they were able to successfully issue Jamaica dollar bonds externally for the first time in a very long time, if not for the first time ever. And, something like that says to me, okay, well, maybe then there'll be a lot more domestic investments that are more secure, perhaps, in Jamaica dollars, that the national insurance scheme could appropriate some of this unemployment benefit. Or it may choose to invest all, if not a significant portion, overseas. But again, the key thing for the success is a good economy and a very good investment scheme.
All right. So, Jeremy, what I want to understand now, Jeremy, yeah? So, to be clear, if I claim on unemployment insurance, how long will I get payments for? For example, if I'm in Barbados.
Well, I mean, I said it earlier, but I don't know if it was muffled. Again, I can only talk about Barbados because none of the...
Right, I'm talking about Barbados.
Very full budget. Okay, good. So what it used to be is that you got that money for at least 6 months. You had 6 months to ensure that you had enough time to go and find another job. And the government would essentially cover your... a significant portion. I don't remember the exact portion of your salary, of what you were earning beforehand. The unemployment benefit, however, is almost like a top-up. So it doesn't mean, for instance, that when you come to pensionable age, that you get the very full amount, for argument's sake. Now, what has to happen is obviously the longer that you, or the shorter that you pull from that scheme, it doesn't impact your very long-term pension. So that's a provision that has to be watched for carefully. And your economic planner's got to be very clear on the average time it takes for Jamaicans to transition between jobs in this economy, and continually assess that every few years, right? So that it doesn't end up, or Jamaicans don't end up in a situation where their pension contributions in the future are marginally reduced, for argument's sake. But yes, in Barbados, you had 6 months. You had 6 months of coverage. Sometimes they moved it.
Okay, and the next question is, as it relates to when you can claim, is it if I'm fired, or if I decide that, okay, you know what, I'm going to quit this job, can I then go and claim on the insurance?
Right. More so from if you were fired. I think if you quit as well, yes, there are provisions that allow you to claim. But I would say that, again, assuming that the Jamaican economy sustains and is stable as it is or gets better over time, those payments should come to you within a month of you having, and this is something they really need to work out, but within a month of you having left your job. To be honest, again, because if you are following regional news, you would know that Barbados has had pretty much a lost decade economically, and that has begun to show cracks in as how soon our national insurance scheme has made payments. It does make its payments, but sometimes it might go, depending on circumstances, different circumstances, you know, it may need to wait 2 months, or I know a few cases where some persons had to wait 3 months before they started getting payments, but they would get their payments up to the time that they were unemployed within that 6 month frame of maximum unemployment time allowed, if you can see where I'm coming from. So it may start in month 3, for argument's sake, and say you got a job in month 4, but it means then you would have been out 4 months, so month 3 to month 7, you would have been getting your payments thereabouts that they owed you, because they would have owed you for that time that you were unemployed.
And with the scheme in Barbados, Jeremy, do you guys still retain redundancy or not?
Retain redundancy? I'm not sure I understand how you're framing it.
As in, if you're made redundant, you can also claim on the insurance, the unemployment insurance.
Yeah, I think so, yeah. But it's circumstantial. So it's circumstantial. So they would assess in terms of redundancies. Yes, actually, no, I didn't say so. I'm sorry. Yes, if you're made redundant, it's viewed as a firing as well, and there are other appropriations that come into play. So it's not just the unemployment benefits schemes, but also there's some, we call it the blue paper. The pink slip. The pink slip. Whenever you get that pink slip, regardless of if it was for a firing or a general redundancy, your position being made redundant, yes, you can go and claim. But now, economically, it depends very heavily on what kind of salary you had to begin with. I'm not going to lie and say that, you know, even though the economy is not strong right now, it hasn't affected how quickly you could get those funds. So say you were a bank manager, not bank manager, but a senior employee within the bank, outside of management, you got your big slip, there was a redundancy, maybe one of our banks decided to close its presence in the region. Then you can take your big sip over to the National Insurance Scheme, but you shouldn't necessarily expect to get those funds within a month, if you get where I'm coming from, versus if it was a maid that was made redundant. They would take care of her as quickly as possible, based on the size of her salary.
Right, gotcha.
But that never used to happen before. It's highly linked again to how stable the economy, our economy is stable, but how well it's performing, if you get where I'm coming from.
Yeah. Have to leave it there. Dr. Jeremy Stephen, a Barbadian economist. Thank you so much for your time.
Pleasure. Thank you so much.
Right. Going to take a break for Across Jamaica.
Front Page was brought to you today by ABC Electrical Sales. For a better choice in the electrical business.
You're listening to Nationwide 90 FM. The time is
2 minutes after 8.
From the mountainside to seaside, countryside to townside, inside and outside, it's Across Jamaica this morning.
Taking you across Jamaica this Thursday morning, I'm Tona Thomas. 2 Jamaicans are in custody after they were held with more than $70,000 at the Norman Mann International Airport in Kingston on Tuesday. That's the equivalent of almost 11 million Jamaican dollars. Investigators assigned to the Narcotics Division in Kingston report that about 5:20 Tuesday afternoon, a male and female arrived at the airport on board a flight from the Turks and Caicos Islands. During security screening procedures, anomalies were observed in their luggage. A search of their luggage led to the discovery of almost 40,000 US and another 30,460,000 US dollars concealed in jars with hair products. Both suspects were arrested on reasonable suspicion for breaches of the Proceeds of Crime Act. Their names are being withheld pending further investigations. The Child Protection and Family Services Agency, CPFSA, says it's deeply troubled by the killing of a St. Catherine family of 4 whose home was firebombed early Tuesday morning. The police say the house was set ablaze sometime after 1 a.m. by unknown assailants. The blaze left a mother, her 2 daughters, and her 4-year-old grandson dead. One of the daughters was 13 years old. Residents in the area reportedly heard screams coming from the house. CEO of the CPFSA, Lord Adams Thomas, says that the agency is saddened by the senseless killing of the family.
The CPFSA is deeply troubled by this heinous act of violence that took the lives of 4 members of the same family, 2 innocent children and 2 women in Central Village. We mourn with the surviving family members, and we are currently conducting an investigation to determine the kind of psychosocial and psychological interventions that we can offer to them. Our Children and Family Support Unit stands ready to assist in providing the necessary support, and they will also be referred to the Ministry of Justice's Victim Services Division for counseling.
Central Village is now under a 48-hour curfew. The curfew, which began at 6 p.m. on Tuesday, is to come to an end at 6 p.m. today. Mrs. Adams Thomas is appealing for an end to violence against vulnerable children and women.
The CPFSA and the Ministry of Education and Youth is calling for an end to all forms of violence against our children and our women. Neither should they become unnecessary casualties of intra-community disputes. Our children are our future, and it is heartrending to see how their innocent lives are being cut short, especially in such a senseless way.
Lord Adams Thomas, CEO of the Child Protection and Family Services Agency, the CPFSA. And that's it for Across Jamaica for this Thursday morning.
Jump JA.org. Mind the business JA with Jump Online. Are your business? They keep your government in line.
Funded by the European Union and the UK International Development.
The Leaders Conference of Choice is back on site at the Jamaica Pegasus Hotel and online. Register now for Middle Managers Leadership Conference. Call 876-978-60012 or visit www.makeyourmarkgroup.com. Sponsored by Make Your Mark Group, Caledonia Outdoor Advertising, Jamaica Pegasus Hotel, JPS, Intelligent Multimedia Limited, Monographic Printers, Main Event Entertainment Group, Nationwide News Network, and Visual Tech Solutions. Middle Managers Conference, May 1 to 2, 2024. Sign up at www.makeyourmarkgroup.com.
Say goodbye to stuffy air and hello to clean air. Call the air conditioning experts, Geddes Refrigeration Limited, for all your indoor air quality needs. Their duct cleaning services will leave your home or office feeling fresh and healthy. Call them at 876-923-652123 or email grljasocialmedia@gmail.com. Located at 226 Spanish Town Road, Kingston 11. Breathe easy with Geddes Refrigeration Limited. Breathe easy with Geddes Refrigeration Limited.
Jumpstart your fitness goals with Express Fitness. Sign up today and restart your fitness journey at an Express Fitness location near you. Enjoy safe, comfortable, and well-equipped gyms from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. daily. Call 554-5180 for a full listing of our open locations. Express Fitness. Express Fitness. Your goal, our mission.
Welcome back to Nationwide this morning. It's time for Building Blocks with the Contractor Center. And this morning we're focusing on stamped concrete. Concrete is a composite material consisting mainly of cement, water, and aggregate, gravel, sand, or rock. And when these materials are mixed together, they form a workable paste, which then gradually hardens over time. Concrete is the most commonly used man-made material on Earth, and it is an important construction material used extensively in buildings, bridges, roads, and dams, and it uses a range of structural applications to curbs, pipes, and drains. So, have you ever heard of stamped concrete? Are you Googling stamped concrete right now? But to tell us more, as we focus on stamped concrete and building blocks today, is our friend from the Contractor Center, the CEO of the Contractor Center, Andre Hutchinson. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Tana. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Alive and well.
Awesome. So this morning, Andre, we're focusing on stamped concrete. Tell our listeners what that is.
All right. So you gave a good explanation, but stamped concrete basically is a decorative technique that uses textured mats and stamp molds to imprint patterns into freshly poured concrete. It helps us to kind of mimic expensive materials like stone, brick, tile at a fraction of the cost.
Mm-hmm. So is it that I lay it all out and then there's a tool that I use or different designs to stamp into whatever I've laid out on a flooring or outside?
Yeah, so you lay out the concrete and then you take the mat and we imprint the patterns into them as we go along. It's over a period of you never have enough mats to do everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're doing a 1,000 square feet or so, you have to stamp, move, and move, but the mats connect, so you get a nice, beautiful pattern.
And what's this normally used for? Only outside? This sounds like something that you do outside, like your driveway.
Yeah, so it's very flexible. So the most common uses are pool decks, patios, driveways, carports, places outdoor where people want to entertain us.
Mm-hmm. So is it that, Andre, I have to purchase particular items and then do the mixing and lay that and then buy the stamping mold that you're speaking about differently and apply that to the concrete that I've just laid out? Explain for us how it happens if it is that I am a homeowner and I'm seeking to get my driveway done. What would I be seeking to do if I come into the contractor center?
All right, so there's two type of people mainly cater to. The first set is people who want us to actually come and do the project for them.
Yes.
So you come in, you say you have a project you want us to do. We come and we look, we measure, and then we pick a design, and then we execute the vision.
Mm-hmm.
The second that we cater to are DIY enthusiasts. So we have everything at the store for somebody to execute a project. So you can come, you can rent the stamp from us, you can get the colors, you can get overlays, you can get releasing oil, everything that you need to execute a project.
Mm-hmm.
You need a power trowel to smooth your surface, shoes to walk into the cement. We have that.
Mm-hmm.
So what we do, we try to cater to people who want to even build a business doing stamp concrete. We have all the supplies you need, and we have all the supplies to execute a project if that's what you want.
Awesome. Want to go back to something you just said now about the supplies. You said they're different designs. Talk to us about that.
So,
So I'm not just getting I'm not just getting a wavy thing on a square. They're different.
No.
Okay.
No. We're trying to execute people's vision here.
Yes.
So if you want it to look like wood, river stone tile, any custom pattern. We'll have that pattern.
Wait, I can get custom patterns, meaning I come in and I have a vision and you guys can help me with that?
Absolutely.
Okay, awesome.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. So custom pattern may take a little longer, but the standard patterns happen fairly quickly,
Yeah. So I can come in, I can get a custom design, or there are different designs already at the contractor center if it is that I want to get stamped concrete done for my property, for my business. You guys have the designs there that I can choose from.
We have about 16 different designs.
How many? 16.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a lot.
And so not only for walls, not only for floors, but walls. So some people may want the wall of their home or their business place with a nice design. We can do that as well.
Mm-hmm. And this normally functions for the exterior, or are people using stamped concrete on the inside too?
Mostly exterior.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly exterior.
Yeah. So these happen for homes as well as for business places that you can have that done.
I mean, if you walk around Jamaica, right, and you look on most like malls, and you would realize their walkways are mostly stamped concrete. Probably we don't even pay attention to it.
I think that's it, Andre. Because I wasn't paying attention. By the way, before you go on, Andre, Jermaine, can we pull up some images for our YouTubers of the stamped concrete design, how it looks in somebody's driveway, one for their wall, the exterior? Yeah, pull up some images of that to help our listeners or viewers along. Go ahead, Andre.
Yeah, so a lot of the commercial areas that we walk along, whether it be in Manor Park or down on Constant Spring Road where the malls are, if you just look on the ground, you'll see most of it is stamped concrete.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is a technique that's been used for a long time, but it's getting more popular with not only businesses but residential.
Yeah. And what are some of the benefits of using stamped concrete? If I'm looking at it correctly based on what I've seen on Google, this seems like the design that you'll walk and not trip. So if it is that you have such a design in your driveway, it seems to be a bit more gritty, rough textured. I don't know if I'm on the right track. Could you help us out with that one, Andre?
You can decide what you want it to be. That's the great thing about it. If you want a little more texture, you can do that. If you want a little more smoother, we can do that. But the main benefit of it is it mimics expensive materials at a fraction of the cost.
Mm-hmm.
And also it's low maintenance. Right? Because who wants to be maintaining because these commercial entities, they don't want to be maintaining the walkways every day.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, it's a ROI, you know.
It's not like your floor tile.
No, you know, so the floor tiles, you get the dark stains in the grout lines and stuff. Yeah, there's nothing like that because these are steels with our sealers, you know. Have a high sheen, low sheen. You determine, you know.
Yeah. So, for example, if it is that the contractor center does this sort of installation at my home in my driveway, talk to us about the maintenance of it. Is it that I just do a power wash of it every couple of weeks, or is it that you guys have to come in and do certain sort of maintenance to it? What happens in terms of the maintenance of something like that?
No, I mean, all you do is clean it with soap and water. Once you seal it, because our sealer doesn't, there's nothing that sticks to it. Nothing sticks to it, right? So it doesn't stain or so. So you can use it on, unless there are some products that would stick to it, but for the most part, nothing really sticks to it. And so you just clean it off with soap and water. There's no bleaching, there's no harsh chemicals, you know. Maybe every 2 years or so, or 3 years, you want to seal it back. But that's about it.
Yeah. So quite low maintenance. So just tell us again, Andre, if it is that somebody is interested in heading into this direction of having the stamp concrete, talk to us about your services for installation, or if it is that somebody wants to do it themselves, what they would need to come into the contractor center and get.
All right. So you know, first of all, the contractor center is located 26 Shortwood Road, Kingston 8. We are open Monday to Saturday, and we're totally focused on serving our clients. So when you come to us or you call us, we can come to you, or you come to us. So if you want us to come to you, we can come to you. We'll measure out the project. We'll give you a proposal. If you are a DIY, you can come to us, and you can rent and buy the things that you need to execute the project. And we're very flexible. We're very customer friendly.
So say it is I'm the customer who comes in and I can't bother to do it myself, and I'm a bit clueless about what to do. Yeah, walk us through the process of what I'd need to do to have you guys come and do the installation. What do I have to sign up? What do I have to pay? All of that.
So you call us. We come to your home. We measure out the area for you. We give you a proposal. Maybe we haggle on the look and the color that we want. Once we agree, then we work out the pricing for you, because depending on the type of look, it may cost a little different. And of course the color as well.
Yeah.
And we give you a proposal. We pay a percentage down. And then on completion, we take a final percentage. Once we do a walkthrough, everybody's happy.
And we have an active YouTube chat as well. Andre, one of our YouTubers, Dread Delero, is asking, can I lift tiles and replace with stamped concrete on my patio?
Absolutely. So the good thing is, most concrete is done with concrete. However, we have an overlay that we can use that reduces the amount of time that is needed to execute a project. So we can dig up the tile, we can put on the overlay on top of the when you dig up the tile, you still have grout and thin set on there.
Yes.
So you can go right on top of that, smooth it out, and then stamp it. So we can absolutely do that.
Yeah. And somebody is Booker T is reacting to what you said. He said, I have a stamped concrete driveway from 2016. And Booker T says, having this driveway, I would suggest either stain or color mixed into the concrete. With the sun being so hot, every 2 years, you need to reseal.
Yeah, so there are a couple options. So stain, we offer stain and we offer water-based, right? Water-based tends to fade a little bit. Stain stays forever. We also have water-based that you can mix into the concrete so that concrete comes out with the color. So Booker T is very, very, very aware what's happening.
Yeah. But just before we let you go, Andre, you're talking about stamped concrete this morning, and you've given us so much information. And for those out there who are listening and are interested in heading in this direction for their driveway, their external walls, or any other aspect of their property that they can apply stamped concrete, give them your details again, how they can find you on social media, your phone numbers, and your address.
All right. Social media, you can find us on TikTok and Instagram at the Contractor Center. We're also on Facebook, Contractor Center. We have our website, which is the contractorcenterja.com. We are located at 26 Shortwood Road, Kingston 8. And our phone number is 876-968-4816.
Okay. Andre Hutchinson, who is the CEO of the Contractor Center and Building Blocks this morning, telling us about stamped concrete. Thank you so much for your time, Andre.
Thank you, Tana. Have a great day.
You too. Gonna take a break and come back with more.
Building Blocks was brought to you by the Contractor Center, providing solutions to everyday challenges.
Cool loans, I lend you 500 grand. We buy appliances and electrons. All flexible, payment plan. Yeah, man, a hot cash. Hot. I hope to 500 grand. Yeah, man, a hot cash. $500,000 that make you rich fast. 100 grand for buy steel and black. 200 for furniture, laptop. 200 for keep birthday bash. Yeah, money loan hot. Get a cool loan to purchase all your electronics, furnitures, and appliances at coolmarket.com.
Stand out among competitors. Show your commitment to quality. Submit your entry in the Bureau of Standards Jamaica National Quality Awards Program. Your entry provides the opportunity for a free comprehensive assessment of your organization's management system and facilitates improvement in effectiveness and efficiency. This prestigious award associates your organization with performance excellence. Step into a world of excellence. Gain access to international markets. Enter today.
Call 618-1534. The Bureau of Standards Jamaica, making standards work for you.
The Olympic Games 2024 live from Paris in France, exclusively on Nationwide 90 FM.
The Jamaican star shines bright once again.
Live here halfway through in Olympic finals.
This summer, Nationwide 90 FM is coming in hot.
Jamaica to the Blacks!
Nationwide 90 FM will be blazing as we bring you the games of the 33rd Olympiad live from the French capital, Paris. 16 fantastic days of competition in 41 sports.
Noveline Williams-Mills coming, the glory flapping, her arms are waving, and Noveline Williams-Mills coming through for Jamaica's goals.
The station will bring you analysis and live coverage from the opening day of competition, Friday, July 26th to the very last day of action on Sunday, August 11th.
And some parchment! Let's go! Oh, what a run!
Everything and anything Paris Olympic Games 2024 can be heard right here on Nationwide 90 FM.
It is a glittering goal for Sharika Jackson, and how they will celebrate that back in Jamaica.
We'll capture the spirit of athleticism. We'll narrate the Olympic fever, define thrilling moments, and report on the blood, sweat, and tears of the world's greatest athletes. Nationwide 90 FM is going to the Paris Olympic Games, and we're taking you with us. Tune into Nationwide 90.3, 90.5, 90.7, and 90.9 for live updates and commentary. We'll be giving the listeners a front row seat to witness excitement, triumph, and memories.
And I think it was a clean sweep for the Jamaicans.
Stay tuned to Nationwide 90 FM 24/7. Experience the Paris Olympic Games 2024 right here on the Revolution in Media Nationwide 90 FM, your Olympic Center. Exclusively on Nationwide 90 FM.
Except the Lord build the house, they live in vain that build it. Except the Lord keep the city, the watchmen watch it, but in vain. Thank you, Jam. I wake up this morning, roll out before me start yawning, turn around, was a kiss for my darling. Tell her I say me are touching at the street. In the street, me see poor people bawling, enough juvenile, them none yam from morning. With the black woman future, me ask him what the system will do for she. Well, let's see what the system will do for him this morning. Let's see what the system does for him this morning. The Apex Court. The United Kingdom-based Judicial Committee of the Privy Council. Let's see what they will do for him this morning, if anything. Well, you know, of course, rolling up to the segment of tax and you, but looking at your comments here, and I'm seeing on social media somebody said to pray for Cartel, and of course you can imagine the responses to that. Those responses I will not read. Out of posterity, I will not read. But one of the council involved in the matter has said, in as much as, by the way, I don't think you know it, but today is just a decade and a day later, literally, just a decade and a day later than when Cartel learnt his fate and the co-accused on the 13th of March, 2014. Yeah? Today is the 14th of March, 2024. A decade and a day later, exactly. A decade and a day, he will learn his fate again. His defense counsel says, in response to something I said on social media, that this has not been a decade wait for them though. It's been almost 13 years from he was taken into custody in September of 2011. The 30th of September 2011. And so it's been almost 13 years of wait. His defense counsel says, John Clark, that they've been waiting to learn their final fate. A decade and a day later. Let's see what that entails. And I'm sure, King, I can tell you, many attorneys, lawyer Twitter as they call them, they're hoping that their matters can be adjourned before 11 o'clock. I can tell you as well, I don't know how productive our society will be at 11 o'clock this morning. Because every eye shall see and every ear shall hear, not of the coming of the Lord this time around, but of the fate of the self-acclaimed world boss. Certainly, a lot hangs in the balance there. Yeah? A lot hangs in the balance there. And again, it's being prompted that this matter, the strongest argument therein, is that concerning the jury pool and whether they properly sat and whether the conviction is safe, having regard to the circumstances. Barbara Ellington says, I will be working. That is good. But I can tell you, many others will sit and watch with bated breath as they see a judgment handed down. And again, perhaps after hearing the ruling, might we go back to the CCJ Privy Council debate? Because many persons have not said it, but it might add to the debate. Eh? It may very well add to the debate. But let's see how that plays out at the appropriate time. We'll go for the break. We'll be back with Tax and You.
The Development Bank of Jamaica provides collateral for your business loan. For more information on their credit enhancement facility, visit www.dbjcef.com. The time by DBJCEF is
8:32.
Prescription to fill? Need urgent medication for a loved one? It's House Call to the rescue. The door-to-door pharmacy delivery service by Horton's Pharmacy in Mandeville. Just drop off your prescription and health card and we'll do the rest. We'll even remind you when your refill is due. Efficient and fast, no long lines, saves time and money. Call Horton's Pharmacy at 962-2246 or 962-4675. House Call. We deliver.
time to pay your tax? Relax! You've got this with your Sagicor Bank Business Credit Card. Use your Sagicor Bank Business Credit Card to pay your taxes and get a 1-month payment holiday. New cardholders get first-year annual fee waived. Plus, you get up to 55 days interest-free and earn unlimited reward points every time you spend. So when you're ready to pay your tax, relax! You've got this. Use your Sagicor Bank Business Credit Card and enjoy the best rewards ever. Conditions apply.
Tax and You is brought to you by the Tax Administration Jamaica, working together to serve you even better.
$8:33. Thank you so much for staying with us. It's the segment that we all know as Tax and You, and of course, tomorrow is tax day, and during this period, persons frequently ask questions about who, what, where, when, and why file and pay your income taxes. To help prospective taxpayers across the line, I am joined by Chief Corporate Communications Officer in the Communications Unit at the Tax Administration Jamaica office, Maris Horton. Good morning.
Good morning to you and morning to your listeners.
Good. How are you?
I am well, thank you. And you?
I'm perfect. Can't complain.
Awesome.
Good. So, talk to me now, Maris. What should persons who are not ready to meet tomorrow's tax deadline do?
Well, they still have a little time, but as it gets busier, this week has been quite busy. So I would encourage persons to try and get themselves ready for tomorrow. They have up until 11:59 p.m. tomorrow to file their income tax return, to be on time. And 1 day late is still late. So we want to encourage persons to avoid that automatic penalty, because the system will automatically generate that penalty if they're late. So we're encouraging them to take the opportunity to file on time. And who are we talking to? We're talking to all categories of business persons, self-employed persons, and this includes partners in a business, employed persons with other sources of income, such as your rent or, as we say in Jamaica, your side hustles, companies, organizations, partnerships, and other bodies. All these entities are required to file a return by March 15 of each year. What is it that they file? They actually file two sets of returns. One is the annual return for 2023, that's for last year. As well, there is what they call, we declare their estimated income for 2024. So both are due by March 15.
I see.
As well as the payment.
Okay.
So encouraging persons to make their filing and to make their payments on time.
All right. And as it relates to those who need the help to finalize this thing for tomorrow, again, where can they go?
They're still able to get help. We're still having our special taxpayer assistance program where persons can visit our tax offices. We had around 260 of them during the 6-week period leading up to tomorrow. We have shifted now being the last week where they can come in office to get that assistance from our taxpayer education officers. So, and I know that persons have been taking advantage of it. From reports, persons have been coming in their dozens to get that support where we will sit with them because the filing is required to be done online. So what we do, we work particularly with the small and micro businesses. We help them to prepare the return, and then we help them to actually file online. So we have mechanisms within our offices that persons can utilize our space to actually do the filing online. They can also get support from our customer care center, where they can call 888 tax help, which is 888-829-4357, and our customer care agent will be on standby to assist them to walk them through the process. So that's another source of assistance that persons can get. We also offer what we call the do-it-yourself help, where you can log on to our website, which is at www.jamaicatax.gov.jm, and they can use what we call the how-to. We actually have a hub on our website, an income tax hub, where it has all things income tax related, to include videos that guide you through the process, where you can log on and get that information as to exactly how do you file the returns. And the returns themselves, when you file online and you're mandated to file online, the online filing actually has a step-by-step. So at each step, it guides you how to do that filing. So there are a number of ways that persons can access support, and we're encouraging them to get on board and do that so that they don't suffer that penalty. So we're encouraging persons to take advantage and file on time.
Okay. And so let's say, put it this way now, Miss Horton. If I have not started filing as yet, yeah, and I'm listening to you right now, you still think I can meet the deadline with all that I have to do?
Yeah, man, you can. And we're hoping that persons have their information available. That's the start. We hope they would have been keeping their records, because we have been having a number of sessions, as I said, right across the island. We have been having our special taxpayer service program. And it was interesting that you had a promo at the start with an ad saying that you need to relax and pay your tax. We have also been having sessions with some partner agencies or business entities that we have been supporting. They have actually been having sessions for their clients, and we have been resource persons on those sessions. So we actually had one with Sagicor, and we have had several others throughout the period. Realtors Association of Jamaica, National Commercial Bank. We have had a number of sessions that we have had for private interest and other business associations. So we have been out there, but it's not too late, as you rightly say. You still have a day and a half to go. Well, 2 days, really, because you have up until midnight tomorrow to do that filing. So we encourage persons to take advantage of the opportunities that they have. It's not too late.
It's not too late. Thank you so much, Maurice Horton, the Chief Corporate Communications Officer at the Tax Administration Jamaica. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, too.
Good. That's Tax and You.
Tax and You was brought to you by the Tax Administration Jamaica, working together to serve you even better.
Does your bra ride up your back? Do your shoulders hurt from carrying the weight of your breasts? These are signs of an ill-fitting bra. When was the last time you were fitted by a bra fit specialist? The bra experts at LaBelle Femme will take care of you. Drop into the store at 53 Lady Musgrave Road, Tuesdays to Saturdays from 10 to 5, and you will see the difference. Or call 876-622-6091. Do you have a consumer-related issue? Want to learn more about matters concerning you as a consumer? Well, keep it locked to Nationwide 90 FM for the Consumer Hour with me, Nora Gay Banton. Weekdays from 9 to 10 a.m. For all your consumer-centric matters, stay tuned to the Consumer Hour on Nationwide 90 FM, a revolution in media.
The Olympic Games 2024 live from Paris in France, exclusively on Nationwide 90 FM.
The Jamaican star shines bright once again.
Live here halfway through the Olympic finals.
This summer, Nationwide 90 FM is coming in hot.
Jamaica to the blacks!
Nationwide 90 FM will be blazing as we bring you the games of the 33rd Olympiad live from the French capital, Paris. 16 fantastic days of competition in 41 sports.
Nobly Williams Mills coming, but Rory flapping, her arms are waving, and Nobly Williams Mills coming through for Jamaica's goal.
The station will bring you analysis and live coverage from the opening day of competition, Friday, July 26th to the very last day of action on Sunday, August 11th.
And to Portsmouth, let's go! Oh, what a run!
Everything and anything Paris Olympic Games 2024 can be heard right here on Nationwide 90 FM.
It is a glittering goal for Sharika Jackson, and how they will celebrate that back in Jamaica.
We'll capture the spirit of athleticism. We'll narrate the Olympic fever, define thrilling moments, and report on the blood, sweat, and tears of the world's greatest athletes. Nationwide 90 FM is going to the Paris Olympic Games, and we're taking you with us. Tune into Nationwide 90.3, 90.5, 90.7, and 90.9 for live updates and commentary. We'll be giving the listeners a front row seat to witness excitement, triumph, and memories.
And I think it was a clean sweep for the Jamaicans.
Stay tuned to Nationwide 90 FM 24/7. Experience the Paris Olympic Games 2024 right here on the Revolution in Media Nationwide 90 FM, your Olympic Center. Exclusively on Nationwide 90 FM.
Down by the river, singing songs of joy on this lovely day. Oh yeah, three singing birds told me by sunrise he's always there in the morning, praying and blessing the day. I've heard about this little tale long time ago, but never had the faith to believe in my soul. Yeah. Now Mother Nature sent to me three little birds, singing a song, convincing me it was so. Now I'm on my way. Anyone come to see me this day, tell them I'll be gone for the day. I'll be down by the river, waiting for the good Lord to pass my way. Oh yeah, I'll be down by the river, singing songs of joy on this lovely day.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's that time of the morning when we tell some very special people happy birthday and happy anniversary. Happy birthday greetings. This one says to my daughter Ashin from Rupert Wilson. Happy birthday to you, Ashin. Coming from your dad, Rupert Wilson, here on YouTube. And he's saying to you, I love you, my daughter. Have an extraordinary day. So happy birthday to you, Ashin. Happy birthday as well. Yes, Saeed, who else is celebrating a birthday?
Sashana Osborne, happy birthday to you. Your LMH family says, may this year be a great one for you and may you accomplish all the wonderful goals you have set for yourself. Happy birthday to you, Sashana.
Happy birthday as well. Going out to a VIB, a very important birthday here. Happy birthday to Ina Scott. Happy birthday to you. Coming from Miss Olive. She's wishing you many, many more. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to Prudence Collins Brown. Those greetings are coming from your children, Leon, Yolande, and Craig. They're wishing you a wonderful day.
And over on Facebook, happy birthday to Clyde Paul McKenzie. Happy birthday to you, Clyde. Happy birthday as well to Suzette Ebanks, Marlon McPherson, Cassie Richards, and what's her name? Shani this, Shani that. And what's the last part? Shani, no, it says Shani, them best topic.
David laugh.
Shani.
And Mr. Maui, that's it. No matter chatter.
Shani this, Shani that. Shani are them best topic. Okay, Shani.
Chat about.
Happy birthday to you, Shani. Hope you have a great day as well. Hopping back over to the YouTube chat to see if there's anybody else who's celebrating a birthday today. I see CJ Martinez sending happy birthday greetings to his best friend, Kim. Happy birthday to you, Kim, coming from CJ Martinez, saying to you have a great one.
Happy birthday to Ducal Brown. Those greetings coming from your neighbor, Angela Jones. Happy birthday to you, Ducal.
This 9 to 5 I have is surely getting to me. Na, 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 na. For the third time this week, I think I'm gonna have to call in sick. If I leave you now, I'll be losing my mind, my mind, nah, nah. I hope we never get tired, and I never have to go to work. No one knocking on the door, disrespecting the no disturb sign. No baby crying, and the no horn blowing, just the whisper of our voices all day long. Na, 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 na. A man who don't sweet treat his woman is surely wasting a lot of time. She might not say it, but she needs tenderness in her life. When I look in your eyes, baby, I see clear as a morning sun. I gotta take some more time off and give you extra fun. Na na na, I hope you like it. And I hope you never get tired, and I never have to go to work. No one knocking on the door, disrespecting the no disturb sign. No baby crying, and the no horn blowing, just the whisper of our voices all day long. Na 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 na, baby. Oh, won't you come a little closer? Pass me my orange juice. Reach over and hold me, baby. Just like that, just like that. We're gonna be making love all through the day and night. Hope you like it, baby. Hope we never get tired, and I never have to go to work. No one knocking on the door, disrespecting the no disturb sign. No baby crying at it. No horn blowing, just the whisper of our voices all day long.
Another birthday, Juliet Sanchez sending happy birthday greetings to her sister, Geraldine Higgs, there in Maryland. Happy birthday to you. Hope you have a really, really good one.
The way you make me feel from deep down in my soul, I'm losing all control. Girl, I can't fight.
You're going with yourself though, Jermaine. The musical maestro.
The way you hold me tight, girl, I I can't fight this feeling. Oh, no.
Woman, you're nice. Smile upon your face is like you're right upon the night. Girl, me can't wait to give you everything you like. Hope you from the day your Christmas sight. I guarantee that you'll be satisfied. Don't be afraid to break the rules and to better things, so tell the little man to cool. I'm the lucky star, I can't believe I found a tool. And them all ask what you wanna do. So make them know say that me have the tool.
The way you make me feel from deep down in my soul, I'm losing all control. Girl, I can't fight this feeling. It feels so right. Champagne and candlelight. The way you hold me tight. Girl, I can't fight this feeling. Oh, no.
Woman, you bring the niceness, priceless. Girl, you have the place. Bossy, and forget. Yes, I love the chase, you know, say. Nobody
Final birthday here. Hugh Robinson sending happy birthday greetings. This one says to my best friend Jen Jones from Chester, St. Anne. So happy birthday to you, Jen Jones. Yeah, coming from your best friend Hugh Robinson. Hope you have a good day as well. Just checking to see if there are any more birthdays or anniversaries. That seems to be it. So if you're celebrating your birthday today, happy birthday to you. If you're celebrating your anniversary, happy anniversary to you as well.
Struck me down lightning, thunder in my soul, baby. My heart beats for you only. Every word is true. I'm in love with you. Take you as you are, lady. You ain't gotta change for me. Need you from your crown, honey. Right down to the sole of your very feet. Girl, my love grows stronger each day, baby. Please don't hurt me just because you know I forgive. Girl, my love grows stronger each day, baby. Hurt me, just be.
As we wrap the show, Mark Peart sending happy birthday greetings to his daughter Keenab. Happy birthday to you. And this message says, Dad loves you. So happy birthday to you, Keenab, coming from your dad, Mark Peart. But that's about it for the show. Thank you so much for tuning in to Nationwide this morning. NTM, the big show. Thanks so much to our technical operator and the musical maestro, Jermaine King. Thanks as well to our super producer, Michelle McRae-Smith. Our editor, KP, Carl Powell, Ricardo Brooks, Cardo in the newsroom. Up next, you have the Consumer Hour with Norgay Banton. And at 10, Cliff Hughes Online. I'm Tawna Thomas.
I'm Said Bernard.
Good morning.
Good morning.
You've just heard Nationwide this morning on Nationwide 90 FM.
Don't hurt me just because you know I forgive. My love grows stronger each day.
Fearless and fair. Nationwide.